Thank you. All right, so everybody, welcome. Notices of meeting town department and all town boards as required by Chapter 28 of the Acts of 2009, attending MGL Chapter 30A. Name of public body, committee, board, or commission, Human Services Committee at 367 Main Street, Hyannis, Mass. 02601. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, excuse me, at 5:300 p.m. Selectmen's Conference Room, second floor, Town Hall, 367 Main Street, Hyannis, Mass. 02601. First of all, roll call. Kevin Matthews.
Here.
Wendy Crocker.
Present.
Kevin Matthews. Oh, that's right. Do you want to finish? That's right. Of course I have.
Roll call. Wendy Crocker. Present. Kevin Matthews.
Here.
Cheryl Powell.
Here.
Suzanne Welsh.
Here.
Missy Kay.
Okay. Good point.
Nice job, Missy.
Thank you. I'll be sure to add and put that in the minutes.
And also, you have one more.
Jack had to do it last Tuesday, so. Or Wednesday, sorry.
Patrick Dowdy.
Yes, all present. So.
It's 5:40.
Yep. So 1, 2. Why was that 5 and not 6? Who am I missing?
You? Pick you.
No, I put word me down here. When? Okay. Nothing personal.
I'm hurt. Use my computer and everything.
Okay, so I owe you a nice tea.
I will take that.
Okay, so let's see what we're going to do here. Just knock a few of them out real quick. Update on membership. I have not been notified of anyone who has applied at this stage. There was somebody who was interested, but I haven't heard anything. Anything else? We do not have a guest speaker today. We do have somebody probably lined up for the next one if we have other things not to do. So let's go back. Approval of the discuss annual report to be given to the town council. So I want to thank everybody who did contact me after I handed them out on July 29th for reading them and making your comments. They had to be in, so that has, as the chairman's report has gone, that I think, Kevin, you were outstanding on some of the stuff. Missy, you had some great comments.
Okay. You have submitted the annual report?
I've submitted it as the chairman's report.
Okay, prior to the full complement of the committee?
Usually the chairman, usually the staff do it and the chairman just get copies, but we don't have staff. And sometimes the chair's asked to sometimes sign it and sometimes not. So I did check with the chairman's, as you kept saying, it's your report, so,
Okay.
do it. So I put everything that you had, everything that Kevin had, and everything that everybody else had mentioned, and I put it together.
Okay.
So it's
My
submitted.
understanding was it needed to be submitted sometime during September? Okay, so.
Well, that's, go ahead.
My question to you is, you submitted it prior to this, hold on,
okay.
you submitted it prior to this meeting without the full complement of everyone in this room going, we feel as a committee, you're good to go. Is that what you're saying?
I submitted it with the condition that I was going to bring it up tonight under reports and see if there was any other changes anyone wanted to make. So at least something is submitted, and then we can please do the anything else that anyone has. Some people I haven't heard from at all, but it was a request on the 29th of July, and it left a reminder a couple weeks later to please anyone have anything, and a lot of people have. But we can change it, it's not firm.
Which is lovely, but there again, I think it flashes back to, we've had a number of conversations about the importance as a committee to have some active discussion
And
about
discuss it.
About whatever it is. And
I agree with you. I think this would be the meeting that we kind of read it through one more time,
Okay.
make sure we're all on the same page.
okay,
And
but with that said,
Mhm.
with that said, she's already submitted it.
It's
So,
not a final submission.
I understand that, but you did an initial submission prior to giving this committee the opportunity to make any comments so that the submission that was going to, to the town council is not the final. I don't think that it's really the best way to handle things that, okay, I'm giving you this, oh, wait a second, then I took it back to the committee and we want to tweak it a little bit and then you have to resubmit it. Just from a submission, presentation kind of a thing, I think that, and we've had this conversation before, the importance of appearing that we're all
That we're collaborating.
We're all in agreement. So there again, I'm with you. I said, it's your report. I've said that
Several
times, but I know I made comments, but I don't know about anyone else's comments. And as a final document, I think you just need a final document without any revisions.
I agree with you 100%.
So all I'm saying is, you can, rescind it, okay? And if anyone else in the room has comments that they'd like to make, if the due date is sometime in September, which I don't know what that magical day is, if it's September 10th or
Do you know
the
the date,
25th.
Do you,
Not aware of any date.
okay.
But I do believe that you said that per the town
Yes.
manager's office, there
There are guidelines.
okay, but they all need to be submitted in September. With that said, I would view that as the end of September, because then they have to be reviewed and they get eventually on the town council agenda, whatever. I've not seen the guidelines. I just think that in all fairness to what we're trying to accomplish as a committee, that it's important to have held off until we could have had a discussion, whether it's 2 minutes, 2 comments, 3 minutes, 30 minutes. That's all that I'm saying.
That's why it was to be, not finalized, it's just the first draft, but I wanted to get something in. And also, as I pointed out, some people I haven't heard anything from, but I wanted to have something in there to show, because people kept saying it's your report. I will say, Kevin, on the HHDC, have you ever known us to go over the chairman's report?
Well, I guess I was not aware this was a quote-unquote chairman's report. I thought this was a report from the Human Services Committee as a whole. I didn't know this was quote-unquote your report. I thought this was our advice as
the other stuff is
as a committee.
Is the committee. But I wanted, because I like to involve everybody. That's why on the 29th of July, 43 days ago, I said, please, everybody, here's a copy of the first unfinished draft. Please get back to me because we need to get this done by September. And some people did, some people didn't. But I took on board because I like to share and I like input from everybody.
So I guess my question then is, this what we have here, the Town of Barnstable Human Services Committee Advisory Proposal, this is a chairman's report.
No, the report was the one that was given to everybody last time on the 29th of July.
I thought this was it.
No,
This is not
that's
it?
the proposal advisory. And then the other one, this is the,
I apologize, I wasn't here on the July 29th, so I don't know what that chairman's report is. Because if it's a chairman's report,
I emailed it to you.
this is what I have that you emailed to me.
No, that I handed out tonight, but you had.
No, but this is what, I've got it in the email, this is what it is. So if there's a chairman's report, then yes, obviously that's your report and you can do whatever you want.
So we should have 3 documents.
You had the other one on the 29th of July.
No, okay. So we have what you handed out, we have the human services job description, okay? And I think what Kevin's referencing is the Town of Barnstable Human Services Committee Advisory Proposal.
That's this, right?
Okay, so is this really the annual report?
No, that's not the annual report. That's,
Okay,
yeah. The only thing I've submitted is the chairman's report. These we need to, I want very much for us to go over.
okay. I guess,
I have never known the chairman to even share, which is odd. When I came on, there was another chairman and he said, here's my report. I said, okay.
so I guess to reference my question, there is a third document which we are not going to be privy to.
I'm very happy for you.
No, I'm not questioning you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's a third document that you have submitted. What, but that, it's an oxymoron, it's crazy. You've submitted a third document called the chairman's report. And that's historically not something that's shared with the committee.
I like transparency.
I understand that. But that's the one that we're questioning. I'm just trying to get clarification. You have submitted that in draft form?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
if it in fact is historically your report, yours alone, then I guess we don't really even need to be discussing it.
Well, because I like transparency and I like to involve everybody if anyone has thought of anything else they want to add from what they've said before, or anything initially that they haven't provided.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I have an email here that you sent on August 18th. It says Town of Barnstable Human Services Committee Report and Proposal. Is that yours?
That is, and I split them up between the report. That's most of the report.
Okay, because I'm looking at the first paragraph of that, and that's the same as the advisory proposal.
I split it.
Okay, so this report, the committee report and proposal, that's the one you wrote that you submitted. This is, the advisory proposal is the one where.
No. There's I took out the report part because I thought I was confusing things. That was one of the comments I think you made, Missy. They're
I'm
confusing
sure.
to put the two together.
That sounds very much like me.
And
That's why I'm so
I said,
confused.
great
I
idea, that's
understand.
why I split them.
Okay, well, let me ask a question. Is this gonna go before the committee, the town council?
I can't see what it is.
This is the one you're handing out today?
If you guys want to use it, yes. That's for us to discuss.
Let's talk about procedurally how this all goes together. Maybe that would help. So you submit we'll call it the chairman's report.
Which is what it is.
Okay, that goes to the town manager or.
It's not going anywhere yet, because I said we're gonna meet
But
tomorrow.
I mean procedurally, it's final resting place.
Final resting place, yes.
Should be with the town manager,
Yeah.
okay?
I believe so.
All right, okay, we'll just go with that. So that's item number one. And then with reference to, and that's an annual thing, right? And then based on our meeting with the Committee on Committees, we have this document, Town of Barnstable, Town of Human Services Committee Advisory Report. This is what would go to the Committee on Committees.
Advisory proposal. Yeah.
I'm sorry, right? And then is an additional document based on the conversations that took place in that meeting. It's the job description which accompanies this. Is that correct? Okay.
Again, a proposal,
I understand, I get it.
advisory.
But this resting place is with the Committee on Committees.
Yes,
Okay, and they take it to,
and that is not for me to submit on my own.
but it goes to them and they decide how to utilize it.
Totally. And they may send it to the town council, it's out of our hands at that point.
Okay, so I just need to understand that clarification.
We have a
Yeah,
hand up. Yes.
While you're having this discussion, just remember, you can only deliberate with your full body. You can't deliberate through email, like, what do you think of this, and send in. A subcommittee of this could create a document, but all of you can't contribute by email.
And it's
But
good
if
that I
the
only
chair-
heard from the subcommittee and the clerk.
If the
But-
chair sends an email to each each committee member, what have you, individually, that doesn't break open meeting law, correct? So I can say,
Yes, it does.
It still
That's
does.
serial communication,
so even individually,
because you're all discussing a matter serially, yes.
but not together, we're discussing it with the
Doesn't matter,
chairperson.
done
I thought it
serially.
was, I thought it was together. And you can't do it with anyone else, but if I.
Like, we can't have more than 3 people, because that would be an open meeting law violation, but we could have 2, which would be the chairperson and the committee member, when she says, here's the
You're
document.
individually going back to the chair with your
Yes.
comments?
Yes,
Yes.
and then that's what she's done, and she's taken all our individual comments, put them all together, brought them here today for us to discuss.
Which I
and make
said at
sure
the
it's
last
good.
meeting, here, I handed out like I did this, and I said, please read these, if you want any changes, can you let me know what doesn't fit, what does fit? But that way, I'm not sending out in bulk.
Mass email,
They're
correct.
not, no mass emails, but if they're sending them to me and say, I think this is wrong, that needs to come out, and I'm just collating them, I thought you could do that.
I think I could be wrong, I'm not a lawyer, but I think you
I'm not
can.
sure, I guess if it's
I think it's
totally
one-on-one.
partitioned. But the other thing you
not a
said,
group
Cheryl, is you were submitting your report to the town manager.
No, not, I sent it to Cynthia Level just so she had it, and with that, it's not a final that we're gonna be meeting
No, but the
tonight.
town manager has no purview over this committee. This is a
Yeah.
advisory to the town council.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm not sure why the
I am-
town manager would,
Somebody brought it up.
oh,
It's
okay.
not important. The thing that we send, we're gonna send it to the Committee on Committees and to the Committee on Committees, and also decide if we're going to send this proposal to the, because we're obligated for that meeting, but also to the town council for their consideration.
So that would be.
I wanna be very careful that it's an advisory, we make no decisions, it's totally on
Right,
them.
but the committee on committee will get this, what we're gonna talk about now, which is the collaboration singly
Yeah.
of all of our thoughts.
Which is what we said we were going to do
Right.
when we met with the Committee on Committees.
But the actual report to the town council, that's the yearly or the annual responsibility, that is a chairman's report and has nothing really to
Yes.
do with us as a committee.
But I wanted it to be to
Right.
include everyone.
I
Because
gotcha.
as a team, you want to include everyone. And I think I have the authority to say to other people, is there anything that you feel that we should be putting in it? Because it is supposed to be a team effort.
So, and one more thing, and then I'm ready and eager to talk about these things as a committee and get them wrapped up and gone. What you did on your chairman's report, is that a lot of what is in here as well?
It was, Missy made a wonderful suggestion. She made the suggestion that we kind of itemize it, and I took that with the guidelines that were provided by the town, so that it made it more pointed.
In the chairman's
It made it-
report?
It made it a lot shorter, yeah.
Okay.
And to show the accomplishments, I thought that was very pertinent, that we had made and the efforts made. I think one of the things I put in there that I hadn't is the getting on camera. And I was so glad that you mentioned that, because that was very good. It's because I like to include everyone, because I think that everybody should be involved as a team.
Just for some clarification, my position with an annual report is you should talk about your accomplishments, okay? What you accomplished over the last 12 months. That's it. And then you can, at the end, talk about whatever your accomplishments are, what you're going to take from that, and create your goals for the following year. That was my position. That was my comment to Cheryl because my first review of her document was, we spent a lot of time writing this, but you know what? I write in bullet points. Okay, I got up in the morning, I brushed my teeth, I had a cup of coffee, I had breakfast. It's bullet points. It's so much quicker, very direct, very efficient, without a lot of explanation behind it. I mean, that's just my writing style. And my suggestion to her was focus on the things that we've actually accomplished, and we would all have to agree that over the course of the last 12 months, not for lack of effort, but we've unfortunately have encountered a number of stumbling blocks, okay? You go here, and I would talk, you're going to Bourne, and, having the discussion about the directory and all that kind of stuff. Where you get to this intersection, all of a sudden you get to take a right, and then you're off down here. So it's not for a lack of effort, but we've not been as successful, I think, as we have all hoped to be, because we've just had a number of different obstacles that we have encountered that we've had to, figure out our way around and like regroup and move forward.
Follow through has been a little bit lacking.
Okay, but with all that said, whether it was, lack of quorum or members or whatever. So, we quickly get back to square one, and then we're off and doing that, and then we hit another obstacle. So with all of that said, my comment to her was, think about the things that, in spite of all of that, what have we truly accomplished? I think one of the things that which is instrumental, is actually finally having this videoed, and in the attempt to have everything, on the website with the agenda and all that kind of stuff. I think I say yay. And that was my comment to her, that focus on that, because I think that we had, at one point, we had a conversation about the importance of having people understand we exist. We exist, and this is what we're trying to accomplish, and I think
Well, I agree with you. That, in fact, is one of the main things I had in my original first proposal that was deemed to be a little bit too harsh, which I understand, but that's one of the things I talked about. We needed to get that done. So I get it, and I understand. And what I'm trying to, again, say in my mind is, okay, that's done. The chairman's report is done. She submitted it, and that's fine. I honestly haven't seen the chairman's report, so I don't know what it said. I know that there's similarities, because she's just said the similarities from this to the chairman's report. That's fine. And because I'm not the chairman, if she's the chairman, she can go ahead and submit what she wants.
So I said, it's your report.
But this report is the one that we went to the Committee on Committees, and we talked about, hey, we have some ideas for the Human Services Commission in this Human Services Department. And that's the one we were all going to collaborate on as a group and say, this is what we want to propose. So that is still on the table today that we can do and get done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why it's there, and that's why it has to be. But I also, even though you don't have to be the chairman's report, I think you know how I do things that I do. I like everybody to be a part of it, because what was I say? I'm one voice, one vote. That's it. That's all I am. And one say and whatever else. But I like including everybody, or at least giving them the opportunity.
I agree with you. That I think it would be nice for any proposal, if that's the way you feel about the chairman's report, bring it in here first, all go through it, all thumbs up, go. I agree, that's the way to do
It's
it.
only gone to Cynthia, it hasn't gone to anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
So I said there may be more, because I haven't, as I said, there's some I hadn't even heard from.
But I think, this committee is in a very precarious position. And I would take the position in saying what's so imperative is that we are in lockstep, no matter what it is. Whether it's this, or whether it's the annual report.
I agree.
We need to be functioning as a cohesive team where we're all in agreement. And to your point, I think the way to accomplish that most effectively is to, and Wendy, you've discussed it, been vocal about the need to, the transparency. You know what? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, have some, there's always gonna be disagreements, but if we can come back to a center point where we are at least all have some measure of agreement, then that's what, we pick up the ball and run down the field with it from
So
there.
let's go, I'm thinking action items. You're 100, I don't think any of us disagree with you. That's correct. So now where are we now? Now we're at a point where we've got these, let's review them. Let's all come to an agreement of whether we like these are ready to go. If you say that your chairman's report is not final, if you send that chairman's report out to all of us, and the same thing we did with this, we can each make our individual things or what have you, and then she can take those changes, she can add them to her report, then we'll know that, there you go, that's what the report's gonna be.
And let's be fair here. I made it very clear that we were running out of time, that there are certain
Yeah, we only have one
deadlines
meeting
that
a month.
we only have one meeting a month, and I did ask everyone, say, can you please respond, any suggestions, any changes that you want, at least a week before the next meeting, so that they can be incorporated. And in that case, I will say that today is Tuesday, it's the 9th of September. We're well into September now, and I spent all of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, thank you for coming, Betty, all of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, doing any last minute stuff. I waited that long for any of the last stuff, and some people I sent out reminders who I hadn't heard from, and if I still didn't hear from them, and I did say on those reminders, please, your everything, your views are very valuable, and I mean that to everybody here. Very much welcome. Any changes, anything you want. But it's also possible. I don't want to bother anybody if you don't see any changes. That's fine too.
But to that point,
Yeah.
maybe we should all agree that moving forward, send an email. I read it, no comment.
Yes, I agree. That's a good point.
Okay, I read it, no comment. But that
Yes.
doesn't leave her hanging.
Right.
I never would, she's never gonna hear that from me. I'm just saying, okay, and I'm gonna say that out loud. But I think in all fairness to Cheryl, that's, hey, I read it, no comment, whatever. That way, she at least has some consensus that we wouldn't need to have the conversation that we're having right now about, she didn't hear back from whoever, it's not important.
Not important.
Whoever did or didn't, but then she just can, okay, I'm good to go. Feel comfortable in knowing that she's good to go. Let me ask you
That's a
something.
good
though.
idea, by the way.
That's a good idea.
With reference to we've discussed the timeline for the annual report, the chairman's, which is sometime this month. Are we talking that same timeline for the committee on committees?
We said that we would have, we said that it would be done by September. I have notified them, just in case somebody thought it was September 1, I don't know what they're saying, that we were meeting tonight and we are going over these and hopefully to have something to submit. If not, I said if there's going to be changes, I'm going to issue the same request that I did before. Well, actually, the one before was by a week beforehand. This one will be within a week, so that I think it can be incorporated.
My question is, with reference to the committee on committees, they obviously have, the document needs to go to them, because they have a meeting, I'll just say September 23rd. I'm just tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow, which is why I sent that out to say, we're having a meeting tonight, and I want to see if there's any changes. I think it's tomorrow. Kevin, can you look that up?
I don't, what is it, we look at
If
committee
you
on
look on a
committees?
town calendar?
Yeah,
I'd
you
like
want
to
committees on
your
committees?
computer, thank you.
Sure.
I think it's tomorrow.
Committee,
Could be wrong.
Could you refresh my memory as to, we said we'd have it to them by September. That was our telling them, but they didn't tell us, you better or else. I
No,
mean,
they
we
didn't
did-
say that to us.
Okay, no, I understand they would never say it that way. I'm just saying, that was
a
We-
suggestion, I
we-
think.
we-
that
we
they-
threw it
Committee
out.
on Committees is September 17th, 4
Okay, so it's
o'clock.
another-
So,
The-
Okay, so it's
There's
another.
I think this is, yeah, the committee to review the purpose, composition, functionality, and effectiveness of
Yeah.
the standing committees. So a
Okay,
lot of
so
work.
that's-
What's tomorrow?
That's the 17th.
No, what's tomorrow?
tonight's the 10th.
Is that the appointments?
Tomorrow's appointments. committee.
Okay, that's what I'm getting
Yeah.
mixed up with.
Okay, so it's really a week from tomorrow
Yeah.
that the Committee on Committees is meeting. However, logically, you'd want to submit something to them so they had ample time to review it prior to their meeting.
Once that, ideally, yes.
Okay,
That's
just-
why
we'll
I
just go
sent,
with
that's why
ideally.
I sent a email off to the chair saying that we're meeting tonight. We do have some things that we put together, that we have not been idle, and that we're gonna meet tonight, and I'm going to see if anyone wants to make any final changes or what they want to do. And I will be requesting that we get that probably by the weekend, so I will spend another weekend on it with no
Well, I mean,
problems, no
if
complaints.
we read this now and we go,
Yeah.
it's fine, it's done. I mean, you can take it and send along.
I'm sure people have pertinent things to do.
Can we back up a little, because I feel like I thought the last meeting was very difficult. I thought receiving the emails after that meeting was difficult. And hearing from the town attorney as a committee, I found all of that very concerning. I feel like, and now we're moving to this really quickly, and I understand it should be timely, but, the vice chair suggested we all meet and kind of iron things out. I feel very confused about where we are at as a committee. So while I appreciate that there's some papers with some proposals and ideas, I feel like, wow, that was a leap from the last meeting. And maybe I'm the only one that is feeling that way on this committee.
We only meet once a month, and I must admit, I wish we met more often, like weekly or something like that. I would create that time. But the thing is, the reality is, we only are allowed to meet once a month.
So-
Hopefully, if our proposal is accepted, or suggested, or taken and tweaked, or whatever it is they do with it, if anything, then that may be a possibility of change for not, because the whole structure might change. We don't know. It's not for us to decide. All we can do is make the suggestion.
So are we not able to talk about the emails following the last meeting and then the email
I'd
from
like
the
to
town
stay on the
attorney?
agenda and on point. We can talk about that another time, but right now the pressing thing is to get this done.
Hold on, can we just, okay, if we go back to the agenda, just because I'm responsible for taking the minutes, would we all agree we've discussed the annual report to be given to the town council?
Not yet, that's what,
We're trying to get there.
well, again, I don't know no, if you're talking about, if you're wording it exactly,
Well,
no.
I'm just saying, this
Right.
is what's on the agenda.
No, we have
So
not, because
Okay.
to the town's council, that was the chairman's report. So no, we're not talking about the town council. We're talking about the one to the committee
Yes.
committees.
Okay, all right,
According to what
but-
Kevin said, we've done the chairman's report is in. Maurice, correct me if
Okay.
I misunderstood you. Let's
Discuss
move on to these.
annual report to be given to the town council. Have we concluded with that discussion?
I think
I
so.
think we have, yeah.
Okay. The next is approval of June and July 2025 meeting minutes. Where are we with that?
Well, as chair, you can bounce around a bit. I would like to get the most pressing thing done first.
This is a yes or a no. I mean, this is
No,
a.
we're not done with meeting minutes. But I think, I personally feel getting the proposal done, the task at hand is more pressing than the minutes at this stage, because we need to get something ready. That's our task.
In all honesty, minutes should be the last thing we do.
Yes.
That's how it is.
Well, then-
HHDC, the minutes at the end.
Okay, then with that said, the agenda should reflect that the minutes would come later, down on the list.
I make a suggestion. Why don't you have Jack bring home one of the HHDC agendas? And the
I
reason
don't,
why,
you know what, hold on. My husband serves on two separate commissions, okay? We function very separately.
No, I'm not.
No, hold on. I don't need you to
Okay.
tell me, I would appreciate you not suggesting to me that I have my husband bring documents from the commissions that he serves on to help this committee function more appropriately.
Then let me say it this way.
Okay.
Why don't you go to the HHDC website for the HHDC, print out an agenda, and you'll see how Karen does it, who is a staff person for the town, and you can see how it kind of comes through.
Can I just say, yes, and Karen does an excellent job. But I will also say, I've served on other committees and oftentimes the minutes are in different places.
And I would
It's
just
not a
say,
set has to be here.
I would just say with reference to this agenda, this is the agenda, the format that I got months ago, okay? I specifically asked Cynthia Lavelle to provide me with a template because I was gonna be tasked with creating the agenda, okay? This format is what she provided me. I don't have a problem with it, Kevin. I'm just saying that this is what I got, and this is what I've gone with for a number of months. Fine. If your suggestion is, move it down below because it's not like this really heavy-duty thing, that's fine. I would just appreciate you respecting.
I do. I apologize. I wasn't
Very
saying.
different roles, okay?
I know. I wasn't
this
suggesting that.
This is what I tell people. I'm Missy K. I'm
I know.
Jack
I know you.
K's wife.
I think you. If
Okay.
I offended you, I apologize.
No,
I wasn't
you didn't offend me,
saying.
but I just need to, I would appreciate you
I will
understanding.
not do it.
Okay.
I will not do it anymore. I was just trying to find a way to get you an agenda that I thought was more professional, which happens to be on HDC, which your husband happens to be on. That's all the connection I made.
But
If
this is
you would
what I
like,
got from Cynthia
I
Lavelle,
understand,
as far
but it
as-
also says topics for discussion. It doesn't say you have to go in a row. It just says topics for discussion.
So can I say the
can,
reason,
that's
because I think I'm the one that brought it up, and Kevin, you weren't at the last meeting. I thought it was a very difficult meeting, and I thought the email following, we were very divided as a committee. And I just think being in the field of human services, to me intuitively, the starting point would be to put some of that on the table so we can move forward and work collaboratively. I felt there was great division. We have a vice chair that's not here today that wrote an email saying that she thought it was very important that we all meet before our next meeting. So to me, it's hard for me to move forward and wrap my head around this after the last meeting and after the emails I received.
So, let me clarify here.
Okay.
Meet before the next meeting, I think she said that, but she said it as in a training exercise, that she was proposing that. We have to
can't.
always be careful of
I'm-
establishing a quorum.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know if she was aware of that.
Maybe
So
not.
She was suggesting it was a training exercise, and I think, and we have actually addressed that, and I will address it later, but I would like to, this committee isn't going to exist anymore if we don't address the things that we're really tasked for. I'd like to get on to those.
And how many times do we have to talk about the same thing? If we're divided, we're divided. We have to work from that.
Respect one another
Discussing
and
it
stay
for
on
45 more
agenda.
minutes is not going to change anything.
Stay on
But-
task, we have a job.
There is also in the agenda, other items not reasonably anticipated by the chair. That's when we can bring up anything we want, including this. There is time today to do everything we want to do. We just have to start doing it, that's all.
We have to
I-
prioritize.
We understand now that we as a group agree with Missy with what you said. Yes, every report, whether it's chairman's, whether it's a proposal, should be looked at by the whole committee before we submit it. 100% agree. Nothing we can do necessarily about that now. That's been submitted. She can't revoke it, but
Well, I
it's
can,
done.
but the thing is, it was submitted to the entire group for comment.
And that may be, again, I was on here on the 29th, so I don't know that. But
Yes.
I never.
emailed it to you.
You did, but you didn't. It just, the title is different.
Yes, yeah, I sent you that one.
The title is different.
Can we quote you on that?
Yes.
You did, but you didn't. I
Yes.
like that.
So,
You're-
I think we all agree with that. So now, let's start anew. Let's go ahead.
Yes.
If everyone agrees, let's bang this out to make sure, do we all agree with all
That's
this?
the task at hand.
And then if you'd like to go back in the other not anticipated by the chair, if you want to go into that, let's,
okay.
no, but we
I'm
can,
right here with you.
we can do it. I just want,
Whoa.
again, I'm not trying to stifle anything. I just want to get a move on, that's all.
I just want to say too, going forward, I think, we should be following what's on the list, so we're not arguing with each other for the first, half hour, 45 minutes of it. And then, like you said, anything that's not said can go to.
Yeah, that,
Can I ask that we pass this down? Sorry, I gave them out and everybody arrived.
Okay.
This is like
It's
like last time I gave out the proposal for you and you had it in your hand and all that. Yeah, this is the next version.
I will say this, just one thing and then let's go. The agenda here, that we have, it's really the same agenda we have every month. Nothing really changes that much on this.
Can I explain
And I'm not
that?
blaming you, I'm just
No.
saying that's what it is.
I am in complete agreement with you. And to your point, if you read my minutes, at the last meeting, we had an individual that actually addressed that. And it's reflected in the meeting minutes where it was brought to our attention, and I'll put it that way, on the, let's see, the last page, page 3 of the meeting minutes. Procedurally, the clerk counts all votes and does roll call, which we did change this evening. The report to the town council appears to be on every agenda, but no document ever seems to be produced. Why not? The third bullet point, the agenda format every month is always the same. Why? So, yes, I mean, it is.
It is. And
An outline.
it is because what happened was we didn't have a clerk for the longest time. And I had to try to make it something that would actually, and also receive the basic one. So things that could be tweaked and make it easier on people who weren't really doing it.
But I think I understand totally where you're going. When you have a document that where the verbiage is consistent every month, even if it's just the addition of 1 or 2 items, okay? We're gonna have cheesecake. Okay? I don't know what it is.
Where's
but,
that?
Yeah, but
Oh,
you know
come
what
on.
I'm saying? If you don't
I
have.
brought cheesecake.
She brought cheesecake.
You know what, I put that in the minutes. But there again, I did put it in the minutes, I think, was it in December? You were
Something
having a
like that.
party
Yeah.
and she forgot to bring the cheesecake, okay? I'm just joking, but to your point, yes, because they're repetitive, it gives the appearance that there's not a lot
The
going on.
agenda gives that appearance, yes, I agree.
And I would agree with that,
I agree.
so.
It was
I agree.
trying to make it simple and simplify. I'm more than happy. You ought to see my agendas when I write them out. They're very detailed. But I'm trying to not make a task harder for people. But hey, we can go for a much better one if you want. I'm all for that.
But there again, I would toss the ball back to you. I put it together with whatever direction I'm given.
I understand.
That's fine.
If there's, because you're on HHDC and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you have applications and you can.
But we have a staff person that can take care of the agendas and stuff like that, which we don't, and I'm not saying you're doing a terrible job, but they have a certain way of it always looking fresh, different, all that. That's why I said if we maybe got to look at that, maybe arrange it a little bit more like that, even though it's not gonna be the same, because you're right, there's no proposal, there's no one coming in with any kind
Yeah.
of proposal, whatever. At least we'll have a different look to it, a little fresher, a little bit more aggressive, like, here we go.
I'm totally good with
Yeah.
that.
That's great. But you changed this one to this particular agenda, which I don't mind. But the thing is, why don't we work together and see if we can come up with a much better one? I'm very happy with that.
But I guess if we revisit that point, this is really one of the only times that we've had the need to have an additional item, okay?
Mhm.
And I call it discuss human services manager proposal.
That's
Because
these two things, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
prior to that though, we have not had
I'm with you.
The
I'm with you too.
inclusion of new items.
Mhm.
So, yeah, the format never changed, but you know what? We didn't have any reason to change it.
Yep.
We didn't have any reason to change it. Can I suggest, because we've been going almost an hour now, I'd like to really see that we address this, because we're not gonna get another opportunity.
I agree. I think if we can just get to these two things, then again, if, and I know public comment will be at the end, the minutes will be at the end, and the other items not anticipated. Wendy, I'm not trying to, I don't want to shut you down at all. You should bring up anything you need to bring up. You're a member of this commission and this committee.
Very valuable member.
And boom, and we want to hear it. I agree. I think we should get these out of the way, and then maybe we can do it quickly and get out. And maybe there'll be no changes. And maybe there will.
And maybe there will. Hey, I'm not married to this stuff. I just need to get this ball rolling and do whatever I could, because we meet once a month. We said September. I thought that was very generous when it was suggested that September. They didn't say.
Snap your fingers and time.
What?
Snap your fingers and time goes by.
It flows by, but like I said, we have a job to do, and I think we're almost there. I could be wrong, but I put in some people had some great things. I want to say, Missy, I really loved your suggestion. I kicked myself that I didn't think of it. Missy's the one, you see, it says manager, not director. And Missy, I thought, had a very valid input on manager for that proposal. You could say it is more palatable or something like that.
Well, a director implies that you have staff and you have all this other stuff, and that ain't gonna happen.
No, we're lucky we have paper.
I thought it was a very pertinent input, and so I'm going through and I was able to actually just take all director out.
We've come a long way. We were at smoke signals when we first came in here. We had nothing.
Well, let's if we can hopefully,
Let's-
our proposal's good enough, we'll continue to have something.
What do we want to start on? And yeah, you got a copy? Patrick, you got your copies?
Should we read it out loud? What
That's-
page and time? Is that?
Can I suggest we start with the advisory thing first?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
hate to be a dark cloud, but I brought something. Did anyone happen to read today's Cape Cod Times?
No.
I haven't been home long enough other than to walk the dog.
8.3
Of course.
million in opioid
Yes, I
funds
saw that.
continuing to flow. You should have read the whole thing. Because, yes, I was very adamant about some of the things that you put together. But I read this article, and this is the blueprint. This is an incredible, no, but it is the blueprint.
I agree.
And what I found very interesting, they talked about Bourne, Falmouth, and Sandwich. There was no mention of Mashpee. And I'm here to tell you, in Sandwich, let's see, I highlighted everything. In the Outer Cape, towns including Eastham, Wellfleet, Truro, and Provincetown partnered in 2023 and created the Outer Cape
That's right.
Wellness Collaborative. You read this and it's like, why are we reinventing the wheel? And in 2024, the town of Sandwich hired Parker Monks as a full-time social worker. And if you remember, when we were with Seth, okay, we
Well,
talked
with
about.
the whole committee.
Okay, no,
yeah.
but I mean, when we were with the community, and we talked about, creating a position, and it was like, okay, it'll be
85,000.
84.
okay, oh, look. They hired this full-time social worker, in her, their name is Parker Monks, and their salary is $85,000 a year, and it was funded by the opioid abatement funds. And they're in charge of working with community members and their families
That's right.
during times of crisis, and will work with police,
It's
the
jail
school
diversion
district, and
clinician.
senior and
Yeah.
community
It's
services.
a jail diversion clinician. Barnstable had one, Steph, she was great. I don't think they have one anymore. They're looking for a part-time one, I think. A couple other towns have them too.
And
It's
they're,
been a known thing, it's.
but what I'm saying is, the programs are already established. They talked about Bourne, And Bourne is they're getting ready to post a part-time implementation coordinator position, because they
They've
did,
been trying to for a while.
they did an assessments and all that kind of stuff.
So that's
It's,
good, but it's not like the whole picture of it all.
no, okay, but what I'm saying, it may not be,
Yeah.
but it is the pathway. They've done some incredibly progressive things with a needs assessment. You went to Bourne, they had the directory. I mean, you'd have to, take the time to read this article.
Well, I guess my question is, that's focused on opioids.
It is.
Where we're talking about homelessness, addictions,
And-
mental health, crime, housing, health,
and-
education.
Okay,
There's a lot of umbrella issues.
Through its pilot program, the town will prioritize services surrounding mental health awareness and support, transportation,
Yep.
housing, continuity of care, and community collaboration.
That's great.
Okay,
Yes.
but what I'm saying is, they've created a blueprint
Yes,
that we don't need to recreate the wheel, okay? We've talked about, she went to Mashpee, she got the job description for Taunton, she went to Plymouth and all this kind of stuff. Hello?
they all have.
But-
they-
A lot of that's already
Did
in
they
play,
work
though.
together?
But yes, and I love the fact
work
that
in
it is,
conjunction with each
so you have
I
a
don't wanna interrupt.
documented resource that you can look at. We used to call it lessons learned. What's working, what's not working. What I love is they created an opioid task force.
They have.
And I'm not saying that it's all about opioids. I mean, we identified 5 different areas.
Right.
Opioid addiction is one of them. But I'm astounded that we have really been
We have,
But I-
they need
sent
task
out-
force.
sent out to do something fabulous when there are a number of programs in our immediate vicinity that we could have tapped and
Yes.
used in collaboration to help create what we're about to talk about.
But I think that's what this thing does.
It does.
This is what this does. It's doing what you're saying there, and it's saying, here's what we need for the town of
Exactly.
Barnstable. We're
And I'm
doing it.
familiar with that task force,
My only
and they have done a
issue
great
is
job.
like it's such a wide range scope that we're putting on one person,
I totally agree.
So it's like, because if I looked at this job description, $80,000 a year, I'm like, okay, no. I'd be like, I'd second guess it. I would say.
You know what, I'm gonna tell you what my comment was. What you need to add, and she'll laugh, she'll agree with me, I said, if this is
An assistant.
what you need to add here is make sure that they come with their super person cape. Because when you look at having a job description that has, and I appreciate the fact that she put so much effort into it, but when you have a job description that has 21 different facets, that's a lot for
Can I
one
suggest-
person to.
Can I suggest that we go through it, because we get back to the opioids through this? And yes, I'm familiar with that task force, they are doing a fabulous job. It's one of the things I would like to see us do and all join and have a Cape-wide task force, which I think is totally possible. But we have
Sort
to
of
have a
being
starting
worked on.
point for Barnstable. Pardon? I'm sorry, Patrick.
I don't want to say too much, but it's sort of being worked on, from my understanding.
Yes, it is. It has been discussed. So, and actually the Gail Wilson from the Mashpee one is already kind of reaching out and everything. She's done a fabulous job, as has Falmouth, and Plymouth, and Taunton. And I'm missing one. But anyway, I have not been to the Sandwich one. But she's quite happy to help and to, present to the town council, preferably by Zoom. But anyway, if we get started on this, we can come back to it. But I would like to see, I do think this is a more pressing need because it comes back to the opioid thing. Are we okay with that?
Sure, I'm ready to go over it if you are.
Okay, so what I would suggest, do you want me to just read it, or does somebody else want to read it? I don't want to read it.
Go ahead, why don't you?
I'll read it.
maybe-
Rather than read it and then trying to find the parts to come back to, if there's a pertinent piece of information or something you want to come back to, so I can mark it, if that would be okay.
Maybe go paragraph
Paragraph,
by
yeah,
paragraph.
paragraph by
Okay,
paragraph.
that's fine, I'm fine with that too, I just wanted to get our, I'm sorry,
I have a
Patrick?
question. I have to run. Is anything that's gonna be voted on?
Yes, the minutes.
The minutes.
Can I just pre-vote? Is that
No,
illegal?
but if, unless you have
Do you want us to
some,
go back to the minutes, when do you have to leave?
The sooner the better. I haven't had a working phone in like 2 weeks, so.
Okay, shall we go real quickly to the minutes, or do we want to table those for the next
we can
meeting?
continue,
Why don't we
Patrick,
table
if you
them?
prefer. We can continue.
Can I say yes?
I think,
Yes, you can.
well, say yes for what, continue them? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, so continue, if we need to really
I
focus,
apologize,
we
guys.
really need to focus on this tonight, the minutes can be done next time.
What time are we
Thank
meeting
you,
until?
thank you,
Midnight.
thank you for coming, Patrick. So are we all agreed to table the minutes and get this
Yes.
done?
Yeah,
Sure.
Wendy, you okay with that?
I guess I am. Although I thought it was the most important agenda item, I will say that.
We have to get
but
this
the
in.
nice thing is, it's not gonna go away.
I apologize.
No
Not a
worries.
problem.
Thank you for coming, Patrick. Okay, it's time to start reading. All right, Human Services Advisory Proposal, we have to make it clear that it is advisory. 'Cause I know there's a number of people who want to make sure that we're not telling them what to do. First of all, a bit of history, late February 2022, I'm going to put Human Services, I keep changing it, was looking for oh, no, I have to say I, that's how I got involved. Looking for human services for a patient of mine that was not in the usual repertoire. Thought to look at town services and discovered we had a Human Services Committee. Contacted the chair who informed me that they rarely met. He had a committee that rarely attended, so a lack of quorum, and that he was himself going to be stepping down. Lets it know the need for getting this clear. There was no meeting in March nor April. I'd applied and attended the May 10th meeting and was elected chair. Over the next 1.5 years, I made it clear that I did expect members to attend, also utilizing those months to bring in various key services, entities within our community, those who have human service needs, Barnstable Fire Police, Cape Cod Hospital, also Family Hospital, Rich Relief, Haverhill, Bayview, Council Churches, Stuffy Bay Cove, shelters, Gosnell, etc. Plan was to form a cohesive team, and as none or rarely attending members left, HS sought out members who might be interested, these are some of the changes I've had, who would fulfill the obligations of committee members, extremely happy to also see others in the community also applying. One of the first of these was Dr. Kimberly Crocker, who so she knows what the team is on this at the moment. Dr. Kimberly Crocker Crowther, who in 2024 was honored with being selected as the new medical director of Bay Cove. Then approached by Suzanne Walsh, a valuable retired resident who contacted me with an interest in getting involved with helping the town. I think I quoted you right there, right?
Yes, it's Welch. It says
Did I
Welch
miss-
there, you said it wrong. That's
But it's
okay.
spelled correctly.
It is spelled.
Okay. Sorry. Kevin Matthews then applied for Human Services, delighted that he applied. Despite his application being seriously delayed due to the ad hoc committee formulations taking priority, which is admittedly understandable. Kevin's expertise in media is an media interest. Is that a fair way of putting it?
That's fine.
Okay. Wendy Crocker then applied and was admitted.
Actually,
which
I was here
Kev-
before Kevin.
Were you before Kevin? I
Yeah.
can do that. I was trying to think of the time. And actually, I had changed it in the hard copy, the other one. Therapist Wendy Crocker. Are you happy with that? Are you happy for me to say therapist Wendy Crocker?
What's the relevance?
Well, just saying some of the professional skill sets that we have, and the people who are putting in their time.
I guess a clinician, can I just say
Clinician's
so
fine.
far, I think this is a lot of language. And I appreciate you trying to give a history. I think you're already losing your audience.
I totally agree.
And these, and it's hard, it's interesting to hear as a Human Service Committee member, but I think we really need to I think we really need to stay with the past 12 months, if that's what we're proposing.
Okay,
You
but
know,
I
that's what this
also think
is.
it knows, I think, okay, I think because we had 5 months without quorum, I think we ought to stick with who has been brought into Human Services and presented and wants to be a part of this team. And a part of what's happening with the community, because we've already said, can we get involved with Human Services?
And I think I have been vocal about this. And I agree with you. We all know that this happened, okay? But with reference to the relevance, it's an advisory proposal. I'm having a hard time connecting the dots from the history to where we need to go. We all know this happened, and honestly, I don't think there's any committee that hasn't had struggles with getting, volunteers and meeting quorum and all that kind of stuff. But I do struggle, similar to you perhaps, with, first of all, a bit of history. For what? We don't have our history is not so
Illustrious?
so incredibly relevant that I think that we need to include it in this document. I know when I was going through my master's degree program, I'll never forget it. I had one instructor, to your point, he said, whenever you're gonna write something, you better have it on the first page. Because once you go to page 2, you've lost your audience. And I've never forgotten that. And when I read this, though it's nicely written and has interesting information, I just don't see the relevance of it.
If we were to look at this and say, what are those dot points? What are the most, and maybe Cheryl, you can summarize it quickly. You can say, these are the 4 things I wanted to highlight in this.
Okay. So what I suggest we do is we take page 1, which is still in the first paragraph, and go to the months that we didn't have quorum because we were waiting. Oh, that might have been the previous year. We did have some this year, but I'll have to check the exact months because of the ad hoc committees. I do want to introduce our committee members.
Well, maybe, where some relevance comes in is where you start instead of saying over the next year and a half, you talk about, utilizing various key entities. You start out with that.
Yes.
And talk about during the last 12 months or since we have been successful in meeting and having quorum or something, these are the entities that we have had the opportunity to have come and present or something.
How about if we start off second page? So.
Our goal is twofold?
Something to the effect of the Human Services Committee is pleased with this opportunity to present this proposal.
Yes, I like that.
Period. We now finally have, after years after years of trying to complete our board, we now finally have a full team. But we have not been idle, and then you can go back to, if you want to talk to services and all that kind of stuff, people we've had in. And then our goal is twofold. So you're gonna take most of this whole page out.
But you know what, interestingly,
Yeah, I'm
if
okay
you
with it.
count the number, okay, you gotta be careful if you say over the last year, because if you count the number of entities that she's listed, you would have to we got more entities than we had meetings.
Exactly.
So I would be a little
I wouldn't put,
apprehensive.
to be honest, I wouldn't put the human services stuff, I'd let it go. But you said to bring it in. I wouldn't.
If she's wanting to talk about it, I'm not saying it has to stay there, but if she thinks we think it's important to reference the number of entities that we have interacted with, then you can put that. But I wouldn't give it a timeline over the
Okay.
last 12 months because you got more people than we had meetings, so you can.
Honestly-
But wait a minute, you're confusing the annual report. This is a proposal.
Right.
No,
The
I know
annual
what
report
I'm
isn't
saying.
limited.
But the
to-
thing is,
this isn't limited to 12
When I look at all
months.
this, fire, police, Cape Cod Hospital, I think to myself, what the hell have you been doing then? You've been with all these people, nothing happened. I would leave that out.
Thank you, thank you.
leave it out.
Thank you very much,
I would leave it out.
because and I actually, my thought was, thank you for bringing that up. If you want to say that, you've been meeting with all these people, my question from the other side would be, what
What have you learned?
what you want to talk about is what you've gleaned
Mhm.
from meeting with them,
Okay,
okay? So I totally agree with you, so that's a great point, thank you.
So I think, again, I think if we start with, we're very happy to have a chance to, submit this proposal. Then again, I like that we now finally have a full team, which took a few years, that kind of stuff, but we've not been idle. In previous meetings with key service entities,
Don't
we've
name
come
them,
together.
key service
Yeah,
entity.
we've come to an agreement of what we believe, what we would advise to be the future of the Human Services Committee, and then go right on to our goal is twofold.
repeat
That will give you-
repeat that last part, what we grant our.
What we have gleaned from various talks with key service entities.
It was the next part. It was brilliant. Put that brilliant
You
hat
just
back
have to
on.
listen to the, sometimes it's.
Yeah, oh yeah,
easier
listen to it, it's on the thing, yeah, it's on the
Okay.
tape. We're now, something to the effect, we're now sharing, or this proposal is due to, stuff that we gleaned from talking with key service entities, which will go into the ideas we're submitting in this proposal today, or something like that.
Good, I'll count on the camera.
And then you can go with, our goal is twofold, and so now you've basically illuminated almost a whole page, and now you're,
That's why I've got it down to here.
excellent.
Twofold. I do want to mention that the 6 things that we got it here. So twofold, okay, 1 page out. Where both are interconnected, first is to formulate a plan that combines the services of all the various entities we have brought together to foster an organized pattern of treating the identified umbrella issues in our community: homelessness, addictions, mental health, crime, housing, health, and education, where most of these overlap.
Okay, got it. I'm sorry, I didn't even know you were starting again, sorry. The first.
Oh, yeah.
We're starting, our goal is
Page 2.
twofold, sorry.
Yeah. The second goal is to formulate a database that will be easily accessible to the community at large, so that the community will have easy access to human services that are available and know how to reach them. Our strong recommendation.
Before you, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
yep.
Are we all happy with the umbrella issues we're bringing up? Homelessness, addiction, mental health, crime, housing, health, and education.
Those were the ones that were identified in our
Right.
camera. Yeah.
I'm just making sure everybody's, this is page 2,
Senior,
Page 2,
starting with our
paragraph,
goal is twofold.
first
Yeah.
full paragraph.
Are we okay with all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
No,
Oh,
she
what do you
wants
got?
it in seniors.
Oh, seniors, you're right.
Yeah.
That was another one. Thank you.
Senior care, senior,
And veterans.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
senior, senior population and veterans.
Well, put senior, okay, take off seniors. You okay with that, Kevin? Not seniors, but senior population?
I think that's better, yeah. And veterans, okay. So we're all happy with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 issues of the community umbrella issues?
Yep,
we
Where
don't want
most
to,
of these
the
overlap.
opioids is under the addiction?
That's addictions.
Okay.
Second goal, then the database.
Yep,
Our strong recommendation is that the town hires a human services.
manager, right?
Yeah, why
Now,
would that?
hold on. Are you formulating? I hate that word, you know that, Cheryl.
Yeah, I took 2 of them out.
Are you formulating or you're
Well, no,
It's-
formulate
hold
or
on.
developing?
creating, is there a database in place?
There is one that was in the county, but it hasn't been updated since 2015.
And there's the one in Bourne that we're
Okay,
gonna,
Yeah.
so the second goal is to expand?
no, create.
No,
Okay,
create.
then
Sort of
say
create.
create.
I like create, I've already changed it. A database that will be easy, and the rest of this thing I read.
So this is what we're proposing for next year?
Well, we propose, we have an advisory capacity. We are proposing we are advising that this is what we feel with what we have the information we've gathered will help the town to be considered by the town council. And they may not like it, but this is what we're tasked
We
to
should
do.
also
Put a proposal.
find a paragraph in there, a few lines to talk about, you know, how other towns are already on this
Yes.
lane.
I personally would, you know what, if I were writing it, I'd say, I would recommend that we pattern ourselves after our adjoining communities which have, and then reference what they've done. And, what's the word I want? When you create it, you make it specifically for yourself, there's a word.
Individualize?
Yes, thank you. And you individualize, you take the programs that are currently operating successfully and
Barnstable-ize it.
that's a great word, Barnstable-ize it and
No, use
move
quotes.
forward.
Can you put a reference to the article in the paper?
Today's paper.
Yeah, but I mean in this
Of course.
paperwork.
What's the date? It's today's paper?
It's today's paper. It's a great
Can you
article.
get,
Yeah.
and I'm familiar with the collaboration there in the group. I'm familiar with a lot of people who are on it, who have also offered to help us.
The Dollar Tree sells them the day after, right?
I have no idea.
I
This
think
is
so.
delivered to my house and my dog brings it in, so I really don't know.
nice
Hopefully there's
dog.
no like Casper
I
slaughter.
can get
on
my
it.
dog to bring in nice things.
Well,
Okay.
you got a treat, you'd bring it in too.
All right, so,
But I think I would throw some language in there that says, in recognizing that these entities exist, for instance, the one, further down Cape, we will contact them and make an effort to
Create a resource.
Yeah.
to work collaboratively with them because they've got 4 of them covered. And then what you were talking about, Cheryl, where maybe Patrick even talked about how you want like something Cape-wide.
eventually, yeah.
Okay, but that, I would talk about that you'll make the effort to move in that direction so that it becomes a more Cape-wide,
I don't mean to be rude, but if I'm in the town of Barnstable, I don't mean to be rude about this, but what Truro does, that's them, or what Sandwich does is them. I care about what Barnstable's gonna do. So when you talk about Cape-wide, you may lose the focus of,
I
we wanna do
agree.
this for the town.
I agree, yeah, you're
all
right.
I'm saying is you contact them and see what they got
Yes.
going on. It's not about we have to do what they're doing, but if they are doing something,
Why recreate the
why
wheel?
recreate the wheel? And that's all I'm suggesting is.
Find, build on
Yeah,
what they've
it-
done and modify it
And
to
it's- and
reflect our town's
actually-
needs.
To some degree, wouldn't it be helpful, if you ever worked in a fire department, they have mutual aid? Well, Mashpee helps Falmouth, so it's almost like a mutual aid kind of a concept where, Mashpee doesn't run over and put out fires in Falmouth or vice versa, but they're there to help. So they just,
Right, but Mashpee has its own fire department. We don't have.
No, okay.
No, I know.
You're missing my point. The concept is you contact them and so you work collaboratively.
I understand, but
with
so
them.
you say I'm missing your point. Maybe I just don't agree with your point. I'm not missing
Okay,
it.
that's fine.
What I'm saying is that, sure, mutual aid's great when Mashpee and Falmouth both have systems that run. We don't have a system. We need to create a system. That's step one, and that's what I think we're asking about here.
Yes.
We'll worry about the Cape-wide and the mutual aid stuff later. Let's first get a department
Yeah.
that will work. And then, yeah, great, let's all sit around together. But we have nothing right now. And I agree with what you're saying about, but that's what we've tried to do, is go to these towns and say, hey, how do you guys do it? That's basically what that is.
And some of
So-
them are happy to come and help us.
Yeah.
What is astounding to me is until I read this, I had no idea. I had no idea how progressive our neighboring communities, with the exception of the ones that we've discussed, they're way out ahead of,
But remember, this is
Barnstable.
the opioid thing.
okay,
So,
but
yeah. I
it's
agree.
just conceptually, they're way out, and when you stop and think about it, of the, size-wise, would you not say Hyannis is much larger than a sandwich or
It is.
a mash pea or whatever? And I'm amazed that, looking at that and recognizing, because the funds seem to be distributed based on population, which would make Hyannis the recipient of a higher dollar volume because the population is larger. I'm amazed that they aren't the leader.
Yes, I
And
agree.
as opposed to some of the smaller entities that have really like gotten their arms around it and they're running down the road.
That's covered in the next paragraph.
That's what this
So
is,
let's
that's
get
what we're
going.
trying to do.
So, our strong recommendation, and I've got to put down the create a system and, what was the other, everything you've said I've written down. Our strong recommendation is that town hires a human services manager, thank you, Missy, for a human services department, I'm gonna put or similar. Or division, maybe.
Why can't we just say hires a human service manager to be the coordinator of?
That's what I
Well,
said.
and,
Fine.
well,
Get rid of
manager,
all
Yeah,
that
'cause
language.
you know what? They're not gonna,
okay,
you know, it's step one.
Okay, to be the coordinator of this project under which the Human Services Committee would serve. Well, when we appeared before the Committee on Committees in June, I brought with me easy research that revealed at that time 36 grants that were then available to help towns with such goals, stroke projects, whatever they want to call it.
Wait a
We
minute, I thought we said no to grant fund. I thought at that meeting, we weren't gonna look for a grant to pay for the position.
It's
Would
not,
that be-
most of them, like Falmouth is funded, I think mostly by the town. Mashpee is kind of a combination, but the thing is grants can help and also you have to bear in mind, hear me out please. You have to bear in mind that for projects and putting this together, that there are certain grants that can address like the different areas here that can, because I doubt very much the town is going to give a budget or an ample budget for this, but grants can be obtained to actually help to fund any of those projects and the areas and the efforts that they're making.
Yeah,
But I
but grants would require a lot more of that individual, right? It would, they would be, but I thought we had discussed in past meetings that we weren't looking for it to be grant funded.
And
Partially,
we did, and this is where I would, grants are wonderful, but when you're talking about grant funding, you're talking down the road. You have to wait for the grant application period to be open, you have to write the grant, you have to wait for it to be reviewed. If you're gonna depend on grant funding to support this position, you're 2 years out. And with that said, and I think I was very vocal about it at some point, where you have available funding, and it's called the opioid grant.
Settlement.
So,
Yeah, which is
okay,
for
and it's referenced in here that, okay, and yes, there were 9 areas. So
Yeah.
if you do it proportionally, like, okay, if the opioid issue what is required in the opioid umbrella is 50% of somebody's 40-hour a week job. Well, 50% of their job, of their salary should be funded with the current available opioid funds. Well, that takes it from an $85,000 or
That's right.
$80,000 town expense down to 40. I think it's much more
I
palatable
agree.
for the town to be able to incorporate $40,000 into their ongoing budget than it is 80.
So, Missy, can I ask you, because you already if you could take that paragraph and restructure it, because I think
Okay,
you.
I wouldn't talk about grants at all because.
I wouldn't either.
No,
Keep it more open and then it doesn't lock us in.
Yeah, and
We're not
nobody,
locked in anyway, because it's a matter that they
No,
make the
I
decision,
I
we
don't,
don't.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a good, I
I
don't,
think you need to be, well, because I lived on the other side of the fence, if you will. You need to provide them with an option to help with paying for the position.
Mhm.
And it's not gonna be completely, even though, there are other towns that are funded, they use all of that. Well, that wouldn't really be fair, because you have the opioid thing is one of 9, okay? Areas.
Exactly.
But you should utilize some of that funding to support that position, because they are going to be involved in
Yes,
something as it relates to that.
Doesn't addictions, opioid addictions, addictions in general, really encompass, there's a lot of
it does, it
issues with
overlaps.
homelessness, mental health, crime, housing, health, education. That all has to do with addictions with opioids, whatever the drugs are. I don't think it's a stretch for them to pay the whole
Which
$80,000 out
is
of that thing.
fine, which is fine, but that's the town's decision.
Yeah.
I'm merely putting it out there that, to your point, they should use the available funding that they have to cover the salary expense as it relates to this position, which would be wonderful to have if, and it's no burden.
Yeah.
Right,
on
but
the town.
I do think we should put that in there, because if it's not, they're like, I'm not paying $80,000.
That's why I put in,
No,
that's why I
saying.
put in there where most of these overlap.
I'm sorry, Wendy.
but I thought it was Counselor Burdock that suggested, he threw out a number.
It was, we
Yeah.
agreed it was
Right.
85 grand.
Yeah, and I think just keep the grants out of it.
No, that's-
I think streamline.
But you should give the option of where the money's gonna come from,
But
so.
you have additional grant funding, we'll phrase it that way.
Yes.
You have grant funding that's in place, right? It's called the opioid grant funding. You have it.
Yeah.
Don't go looking for anything else. It's available, use it. You can hire the person, I mean, you can move like that and put that person in place. You don't have to go through the whole grant application. Oh my God, praying that you get it, because there's no guarantee. Take what you got and run with it. And you know what? I mean, because all of those issues overlap, you make a very good point. Fund it all.
I agree, but I think we need to put that in here.
I
If you wanna take the
totally
grants
agree.
out or make them,
Well, I think,
Potential.
I do think you should put in there, and you could in the
Suzanne,
future,
did you?
you could in the
No,
future
okay.
attract other grants as well.
I know, you know what? Down the road, this is the way I see it. You get somebody in place, we'll call it the human services manager. They are gonna come into this position, and at some point down the road, they'll be aware of other potential grant funding options. They get to pick up the ball at that time and go to we used to have to go to the town, city council and ask permission to apply for a grant. I don't know how it works here, but that's their decision. Whoever Mary Alice, new human services manager is, goes and says, you know what? There's a grant out there that I think would be fabulous, and I feel comfortable in applying for it, and I can do blah, 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 but with it, that's down the road.
I think we could I do think grants should be in there as a word. It says somewhere down the road, it could look at other grant options.
No, I don't agree with that, because the whole concept, everybody wants grant funding, okay? It's free money, but it's so competitive.
That's what I was gonna say, and that's what Wendy brought up before, that you might get that for 2 years and then you might not get it after that.
And it
And it leaves you
sunsets.
floundering.
Well, why don't we say, or why does it say something to the effect of the human services manager would also be in charge of applying for grants? So that way you're not saying.
It's in the job description.
It is, and
But not in this. This is.
But, okay, but we're just talking about the human services manager. And
Right.
you hire them and then
It is in the job.
within the job description, they need to have knowledge of grant applications and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And I think that, not because it has to be Missy's way, but I think that covers,
I think if we didn't say grants, we could factually say, as you go into talking about other towns' job descriptions, you can incorporate how those towns fund those positions. And you just kind of
There you
float
go.
it out there,
There you go.
right? It doesn't mean we have to do it that
Right.
way.
And it
but we
doesn't
could
narrow
say,
it down.
you know, in Sandwich, this is.
through our research, we have discovered that other towns are funding this
Partially.
type of position with the opioid grant
Or
funding.
tax pay, like.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Opioid and
Well,
other
mostly
grant
tax.
things, yes. I think
Mostly
that's a good
tax.
place for it.
Taxpayers, I mean, it
Here,
isn't down
it talks
No,
about
but other
opioid.
towns are, like for instance, Mashpee has numerous grants, so opioid and other grants.
That's, you getting too far into the weeds.
But I
Just-
think if we said a vague and we just kind of
Yeah.
floated
Yes,
it,
with
other
other
towns.
towns
I
have
agree.
financially supported this position.
I think
So
that's.
So
Opioid
that
and
would
other
be that,
grants.
so that's what we're gonna change our strong recommendation paragraph to.
Yeah, other
We're going to incorporate the fact that, again, would be the coordinator of the project under which the Human Services Committee would serve. In our research, we found that other towns across the Cape have used the opioid grant funding or
To-
grants to
to-
fund this position.
Yes, I like that,
Okay.
okay,
I agree with that.
yeah,
It
okay.
is accurate.
No, but it says it.
7:05.
Again, it does, it's just the town has to say, okay, we'll do it. I mean, that's what
But
it's all
but
about.
I think that is pivotal, because when you put them into a position where they go, oh, how are we supposed to come up with that money? You know what, you don't need to. You got it.
Well, they do, it's just gonna come from a different place, that's all. They have to come up with the money, they're gonna have to take the money from the opioid committee and put it to it.
Yeah.
So they're paying for it, they're just paying for it another way,
I
that's
like
all.
that paragraph that you did.
But I think that's the way to do it, and then
Yeah.
that wipes out the rest of that
It does.
paragraph and we move on.
So,
I think
So
that's a
we-
good collaboration.
yeah, I agree. So we have reached out to various other towns for their job description. This might be redundant now for this position where they have very successful departments, managers, these job descriptions are enclosed. I don't know if we need to
I would
enclose them.
drop that whole rest of that
Yeah, I
paragraph,
agree.
just end it with
I
the stuff
agree.
about the research we found and blah, blah, blah. And then
Yep, okay,
you can
good.
move to as chair.
Okay, page,
Beautiful, so
Three.
let's go on. Let's
I wonder why I put a line for that. We would propose that this be initiated with an initial 2-year plan.
Whole paragraph could go.
Go, okay, that's why I put a line through it, okay. One of the responses.
After I would propose to initiate, I'm sorry.
Wait, what are you taking?
You think even,
Yes, because what we're saying is initially to 2-year plan to obtain the grants. We're getting rid of grants. We're not talking about grants.
Yeah.
We're making
Strike
this
the whole
focused
paragraph.
on,
Okay.
yeah, so that whole
Yeah,
paragraph's
I think
gone.
that's good. One of the responsibilities given to this committee is to develop a report detailing our advice in our advisory capacity.
This is where I think I told you, we're repeating ourselves here.
Yeah.
redundant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's redundant.
Good, short and sweet, I like it. Our first suggestion from a humble advisory position is that the town,
Why do you always feel that you need to take that position?
you have
We're
no
not-
idea how
no.
many times it's been thrown at me, your advisory, your
You know
advisory, your
what?
advisory.
But but our first suggestion, period, is
Okay.
that the town council, we don't.
Okay.
So we need to be strong.
Yeah.
We need to
Okay,
be
fair
stronger.
enough.
Because in
The town
business,
council-
no one's gonna say humble.
Okay, fair
I do
enough.
like, by the way, I do like that line, though. One of the responsibilities given to this community is develop a report detailing our advice on how human services could best be distributed to the citizens of the town of Barnstable. I like that paragraph.
Okay, so
I think that should be in the beginning of the whole thing, before we say our goal is twofold.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
put
I like
move
that, take out the, in our advisory
Hold on, let me
capacity.
get to the beginning.
Yeah, get rid of all that history stuff. and
Yeah, we
put
already
that
got
on.
rid of that.
Yeah.
So
Like it.
here's A.
Yeah, our first suggestion, we already did this.
Okay, so first suggestion is the town manager be responsible. Well, this is where you've got finding and managing various town-provided this was one of yours, I think, Kevin. that you-
Yeah, hold on, but I'm just, right here, we're at that paragraph we screwed around with. Our strong recommendation is that the town hires a human services manager to be the coordinator of this project under which the human services committee would serve. I think that might be good enough. I just want to read the rest of this.
You're going back to page 1 or 2
Yeah,
now?
because the page, the paragraph just before that we just did, changed it up a little bit. Our strong recommendation is that the town hires a human services manager to be the coordinator of this project under which the human services committee would serve. So that takes care of talking about our responsibility to help the manager and all that kind of stuff we already talked
So
about.
wait a minute, which one did we just take out? One of the responsibilities given to the committee is
Our first suggestion, that's all taken out because that's a rehash of what we've
the
already
whole
talked about.
paragraph?
Just the top of it for now, I'm
So
looking.
where are you stopping on there?
We play a key role, okay.
On page 2,
I'm now on
We're on
page
page
3.
three.
okay,
on
but
page 3.
Kevin,
Yeah.
on page 2, this one, our strong recommendation is that the town hires us, blah, 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 to be a coordinator. Are we striking that paragraph?
No, under which the Human Services Committee would
First
serve. This is
sentence.
when you start going into, in our research or in researching other towns, they use the opioid committee to pay for the position.
Okay,
So that's how because that was a good wrap up of that, so that when we get the grants out of the way, we talk about the opioid money.
okay, so manager would be responsible for funding and managing various town-provided human service programs for residents. That was yours, and I thought it was good. As well as working with independent agencies in the town to ensure the effective delivery of human services. As a Human Services Committee, it would then be our responsibility to assist the manager to help develop and help to implement policies to improve such delivery. Or implement. It should be,
In my opinion, again, it's whatever everybody thinks,
Yeah.
let's all talk
Yeah.
about it. I think we can get rid of everything in that paragraph. My first thing that I'm wondering is, we also propose placing any current committees that are under our Human Services umbrella, under the Human Services Manager, allowing one responsible officer to oversee all funding that comes through the Human Services realm to ensure they're allocated properly to the programs they're intended
so
for.
you want to take out everything up to the we
I
also
think I
propose?
think everything up to then is just,
So
we're
just want to
done.
make sure I'm at the right place. We also propose placing any current, right?
Hold on.
Yep.
I need to catch up. Our first suggestion,
That whole paragraph gone, because all that's doing is saying the same thing we just said up
You want to keep the
here.
we also propose placing any current committees though, don't you? Just up to we.
okay, everything goes, and it starts with, everything goes
With we.
from our, all the way down to securing grants.
Correct.
Goes, okay, and then we
But
start.
it's up to you guys, I want everyone's opinion on this, because I think
I
it's
just want to follow where you
important
are.
that we also propose placing any current committees that are under a Human Services umbrella, under the Human Services Manager, allowing one responsible officer to oversee all the funding that comes from the Human Services realm to ensure they're allocated properly to the programs they're intended for.
No, I agree with you.
I think that's.
Because that's a whole thing about the opioid budget, there's a lot of money there, let's make sure we're not using it to pay for the sewers or anything like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that they would do that,
So,
you know,
Careful,
I'm
we'll
just
stay
saying.
on camera.
To
No, I'm saying-
oversee grant funding that comes through the human services realm?
Sure, if you wanna
Is that what, is that what you're saying, Kevin?
I'm
Because
just-
we're getting rid of all of this, which gets into grants a little bit more. Do we, I don't know.
Yeah, you could say oversee all grant funding or just oversee all funding.
Okay, just funding is good.
Because you might get, you know,
Someone may die and leave a lot of money to the town.
You might, if you just leave it generalized,
I've got $28.
yeah,
I just think
it's
that,
assumed, Wendy.
Okay,
Okay.
so we can get rid of the example at the end, right? An example might be
What, the
town's
opioid
current.
committee?
Wait, we also propose placing any current committee,
I think that all
allowing
stands.
one responsible individual.
Instead of
not
officer?
an officer.
I agree.
Okay, to oversee all funding that comes through the human service, to ensure that they are allocated properly to the programs. Okay, you can get, I would agree that
An example?
yeah, we don't need an example.
They understand.
Yeah, they get it.
Okay, you want that out?
Yep. We're cutting this a lot, by the way.
I don't
Good.
mind.
No, this is good.
I invited that, I'm fine with that. So, we also believe it is important that all facets of these services be open and.
That's already done, actually, because now we're on film, so we can get rid of that.
Well, we're talking about, okay, fair enough. Wait a minute, down to where though?
I like we advise that the meetings continue to find a permanent and consistent place in the recording and venue schedule.
Where are you? Where are
I'm
you?
sorry,
Oh, I got it, okay.
next page. Just from the part that we advise, because they're
Yep.
already doing it, so we just want to say we want to make sure you keep doing it.
Okay.
I don't know that, you know what, they always happen in the same place, with the exception of the one time that we had to move.
Mm-hmm.
I would, you know what,
Do you just want to put recording schedule? Because remember, we just started recording. This is
Yeah,
brand
we
new.
have. This
So
is
I just
very
want to, I think as a committee, we want to say, hey, listen,
We-
don't stop doing
we
that.
request, or,
I
Request
request,
instead of
I
advise?
not
request.
advising anything, we request that the meetings
Yes.
continue to find, continue to
Enjoy.
be held,
I know.
continue to be recorded, or something like that, consistent with.
I'd like to advise because that's what we're doing. This is advisory. So that's what we're, as the committee,
Yeah,
we're advising
that's
you
true.
to keep,
Good point.
continue to place on the,
But I'd get rid of a permanent and consistent place.
all right, let's take just consistent place of the recording. Because we want the recording to be, that consistent is we want to make sure every single meeting is recorded. They're doing it now. They've done it for the past 3 months, but we just want to make sure that
All
continues.
right, so we're taking out permanent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
permanent and, we'll get rid of those two words.
But we're leaving consistent. Okay.
And if you want to take out and venue, so that way if they have to move us, we're not going to be angry about it. I don't care, doesn't matter to me.
Where's venue?
Take out, so a consistent place in the
Recording and venue
recording schedule, and that would be recording schedule now.
Oh, okay, so, we're leaving, okay, what are we doing to venue?
We advise that the meetings continue to find a consistent place in the recording schedule of all town boards and
Yeah,
committees.
there you go.
Okay, got it. 2 final thoughts. To the best of our knowledge, most committees and boards have assigned to them a town staff assistant who is
You're never
I've got
gonna
a
get
typo
it.
here. Okay, do we
never
want to
gonna
just
get
take
it.
it out?
I
Yeah,
would,
Okay, so,
you're never
Okay.
going to get it.
But you also, I mean, you won't get a sale unless you ask. We can ask them. If they say no, okay, no.
She's asked a number of times, and what I believe,
How about that's part of the longer term plan?
yeah,
Good idea.
this is, we're talking phase 1.
Well, and I think especially where this committee is still up to be reviewed about its effectiveness. So
Yes.
I think before we ask for more,
yep,
we,
yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, take that paragraph out. Kevin, you okay with that?
Again, it doesn't hurt for them to say no. I would ask them.
They've
and say-
said no.
But
But
wait a
not to
minute,
this, we're coming to you with this whole piece. But again, if you guys don't want to do, that's fine.
actually, we believe that a staff assistant this manager would benefit from a staff assistant.
Hold on,
for
you
the
know
part of
what?
the team.
If, in a previous paragraph, we're recommending that these various committees come under the purview of the Human Services Manager. Do we agree to that?
Yes,
Okay, so then you're suggesting we come back and say, and we get a staff person. That's the Human Services Manager's decision to request a staff person to serve, to help
condition of
provide
employment.
services
Yeah.
Okay.
to
That's
all of the committees.
That's fair
So
enough.
I don't
Okay,
get it.
got it?
Yeah.
So that paragraph goes, lastly, we would like the ability to add a second meeting each month to the calendars. We feel that having to wait 30 days to move forward and or consider subjects that may come before the committee may cause unnecessary delay in completing the work we are committed to address. Of course, this may well be taken care of if under a manager in our department. In other words, the manager would say, come in for a meeting today or whatever.
It's the same thing though. If you're gonna hire a manager, it's the manager's decision how to
advocate.
coordinate.
Okay.
Fair enough,
Yeah,
fair enough.
so-
All right, take
It
it
is
off.
now time to coordinate.
and I think it's also more resources that the town would have to film it, staff,
Yeah.
Okay, it is now time to coordinate an overall proposal to be considered and hopefully implemented. We now have a great team, but we also realize that in order to fulfill any proposed plans, should we say suggested or
God, the AC
proposed?
kicked on.
Suggested plans or proposed?
We now have a great team, but we also realize that not
I think it's suggested is better than proposed. Mind you, it's a proposal that's in our purview though. It says proposal. Yes,
I don't know about this last paragraph.
proposed plans that we also need to support the town coordinating implementation, therefore respectfully submitting our suggestion for Human Services to have its
I think
own
this could be much
connection.
quicker. Thank you so much for considering our advisory
Yeah.
proposal.
Yeah, here you go.
Boom. I just don't think we need to go through all that.
Okay, what do you want? Thank you. You want to get rid of all
I
the
would
rest?
just say thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank you for your consideration.
considering.
Thank you
yeah,
for your time and
consideration of our advisory proposal.
They're
Have a
really
great
gonna
day.
like this on a postcard.
I'm telling
so
you,
much
I'm telling you,
I'm fine
one
with that.
page,
It's good.
one page.
It'll probably be 2.5, but that's good. That's much better than what we have now.
Okay, you want to leave in, thank you for your time and consideration.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go shortly.
We still have quorum, so we're good.
Okay.
Drive carefully.
So you get all these changes, right? Excellent.
I've also got the time where people have spoken up to go to get the actual wording where I couldn't write fast.
Do you want, I've been trying to play along. Do you want this just in case?
Absolutely, thank you. Well, actually, no, keep it, because I'll call you if I've misunderstood,
All right.
I can't find it, because then you'll have a reference for it.
Yeah.
Okay, just for clarification purposes, you're going to,
I'm gonna
Edit this?
redo this, then I'm gonna
Okay.
submit it to Cynthia Lovell and ask if she is allowed to send it to everybody to see
Okay,
what this
okay,
is. I
all right.
cannot distribute it to
okay,
everybody.
that's fine. I just
but,
want to know
yeah.
what procedure.
Oh, yeah,
how
because
it
she's done
works.
that before, hasn't she?
Well, she sends us the
Yeah, yeah,
agenda.
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure, but just checking that we can go ahead and, she can do it.
Have a good night.
You look very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look all right.
Oh.
I'm playing with you. It's a joke.
Oh.
It's a joke.
Oh,
get him on
that's
the
a
way
big
out.
boo for him.
I love Wendy,
I think she
Okay.
My
looks very nice.
fellow OLOVer,
Fellow what?
Our Lady of Victory.
Oh,
Oh,
I go to Our Lady of Victory.
I go to the chapel.
Yeah. Okay, so, Human Services job description, that's the other one.
Let me just write some down here.
Okay, no problem, take your time.
Okay, maybe make sure I get that. Part 2.
Is this one shorter? No, it's 4 pages. Now, this was done by taking the Taunton, Falmouth, the Mashpee one, parts of Plymouth, and Barnstable Island. So this has already been Barnstable-ized. So, all right, summary. Human Services Manager be responsible for the development, implementation, and delivery of human service programs and initiatives to meet the needs of, take the word off, that extra F off, of Barnstable County. The manager would identify and prioritize community needs, research and development and develop specific programming to meet those needs. Maintain oversight and providing leadership of programs, grants, budgets, and regulations whilst collaborating with community groups, departments, and outside agencies for the delivery of services. Responsible for the human service functions, clinical counseling, crisis intervention, advocacy, and community mobilization. The mission is to connect Barnstable, should we say that the mission would be to connect Barnstable?
Can I take one thing back a second, this first thing?
Yeah.
Whilst collaborating with community groups, departments, and outside agencies for delivery of services.
Yeah.
Part of something about that line bothers me, like,
Okay.
in the sense that these different agencies have their own things. Do we really think that our human services manager should coordinate any of that? That's their outside things. I don't know if I like that line.
no, I would, but they should interact, but
They
they're
have
not.
to
Interact
it's
with, I like that.
Yeah, they're not the boss of them.
Right, so I would say, instead of collaborating, I'd say interacting with community groups, so that way it just seems like we're not in charge of doing that.
Okay, so wait a minute, I want to make, the manager would identify and prioritize, stop me where we want to change it. Prioritize community needs, research and development, develop specific programming to meet
Before
those
that,
needs.
where it says regulations whilst interacting with community groups, departments, and outside agencies for the delivery of services.
I still don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Okay, I think research and develop specific programming to meet those needs, maintaining oversight and providing leadership of programs, grants, budgets, and regulations. You know what, we're talking the Lone Ranger, so I don't know, I personally think I would not providing leadership of what program?
Okay, so what I
So-
think we do, so the manager would identify and prioritize community needs, which I think is good,
Yes,
and develop specific
okay, the
Programming.
manager would identify and prioritize community needs, yes.
and develop
Research and develop specific programming to meet those needs, okay? While maintaining oversight.
Okay, hold on.
But
While
this-
maintaining oversight and
Site.
providing leadership of
Yeah,
programs, grants, budgets.
they're a one-horse operation, so, you know, they're not gonna have a lot of time to be out there being the leader, providing leadership of programs, grants, budgets. They're one person, they don't have a department, so I don't see them having a budget. I wouldn't talk about grants, and I would just say,
But we
maybe
don't-
I
we took-
I would end the sentence, specific programming to meet those needs, period.
Yeah.
Then if you wanna start a new sentence, something around, you know, it's important that they maintain oversight of regulations, state and federal regulations, you know, or something like that, with outside agencies or something like that, but I stay away from some of that other
And
stuff.
but
So
we
why-
have,
why don't we-
I wanna leave something about the grants, and I don't wanna take it out of everything.
Well, grants will be down in the,
It's in the.
functions.
Yeah,
Okay,
there, yeah.
alright.
Well, let's do this, specific programming to meet those needs, period.
Yep,
The mission is to connect Barnstable residents with resources and solutions during the times of need, with the goal of building a strong integrated community. So
where are you? 'Cause I
we're
wanna-
gonna take,
The last sentence
Yeah,
of
the
the
last-
paragraph.
the mission is
Okay, gotcha.
to connect, that'll stay. So that'll be the end, it'll be specific programming to meet those needs, period. The mission is to connect Barnstable with Barnstable
Okay.
resources.
Thank you.
So that way, we take out all that stuff
So
about
we
the
ban-
grants
we-
and the
we-
budgets
we-
and the leadership.
Yeah, we bounced 4 lines, that's fine.
Awesome.
Okay, there are 6 umbrella initiatives, mental health,
now
oh, that's your
9.
9 now. So,
Is there really 9? Seriously?
yeah. Umbrella initiatives, mental health,
Jesus.
substance abuse addictions, advocacy for the disabled, homelessness, housing, care for the elder, no, we actually put them in this one.
We did this
Elderly
one.
veterans and supporting regional initiatives. The manager will make recommendations for budget decisions and policy to be approved by the
That
Human
is an
Services Committee.
absolute no.
What?
We're an advisory committee, and if you're gonna hire
Yeah,
someone.
we're not approving that.
If
Okay,
you're-
what
yeah.
do you want out?
I would strike the whole paragraph. Okay.
I want to identify again because this is on the job description, so I
Okay,
think we should leave it in the top sentence.
I personally would spell description properly, but,
Why? Why do you have to be that
I
way?
know, why do I have to be that anal?
Oh.
I think I would say human services job overview, because it's your human resources
I like it.
department that creates the actual
No, I like
description.
it.
You're gonna give us
So
a
I,
copy,
if this
right,
is
when
an
it's done.
overview of what we're suggesting.
I have no problem with that. Anyone else have a problem with that?
Can we, that's fine, but can we count this to make sure this, I don't, so we got mental health, substance abuse and addictions, advocacy for disabled, homeless and housing, is that all one? Care for the elderly and veterans, so that's really 5 initiatives, is that correct?
Here, I
That's
actually
6 here.
counted them.
I'll
wrote
just
them
take
out.
it from the other thing that we
Okay,
already
because it's
put.
actually, the wording is a little
I'll
different.
take it from the other 9.
I counted them.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make sure.
I
that
got them
it's-
here,
yeah,
but they're
yeah.
different on this, that's why we should make it the
That's
same.
why-
So I'll make it the same.
They're
We
broken
already-
down more
We
on
already
the
agreed on
first
the other
one.
part, so.
But is that news?
No.
No, that's just standard stuff.
Well, I'd like it to be in the job description personally.
I agree, I think the person applying should know what we're focusing
Yes.
on.
Yeah, so
think so
that's why
too.
I'm suggesting that you don't need to call them out. They're all, if you're a human services manager, every town has 5 of the 9 or 8 of the 9 or 3 of the 9. That is the world
So,
that
But I think you should spell it out.
I think you
it's
should spell it
important that someone who's applying sees that.
I
They
think
may know it already, but at least now I get, because they could come in and say, whoa, veterans too? I thought you had a veterans
That's
committee.
our opinion.
well, we're
The
trying,
9 are our opinion, okay?
Right, well, that's what this is. If they approve this, then we can use
and
this.
this is
Okay.
our proposal for a job description,
It's-
start.
It's an
Start.
overview.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an
Okay.
overview. The manager will make recommendations for budget decisions and policy to be approved by Human Services.
I don't agree with that at
Nope.
all.
Nope, okay.
That
Strike
whole line
that
gone.
sentence.
That was from
The
Mashpee.
manager will chair the opioid task force. Again,
No,
I don't think that's
Okay,
our
that's
decision to
fine.
make.
yeah.
Also be tested with disbursement of your funding, we're gonna leave that whole rest of that paragraph out.
Correct.
And interestingly, according to this article, the town of Barnstable only got 1.8 million.
No, that's that quarter.
Yeah, that's not what I heard. I heard it was more than that.
It's 3 million.
Well, I
Yeah.
understand that, but I'm just saying, I had heard the number 15 million floated, and then I read that and I went, 1.8 million is
No?
a whole different amount to work with.
Yeah, I have not been told of any changes.
So, the next paragraph,
Manager would work in direction of the direction.
town council,
Absolute-
not town manager.
Town
Okay.
council, I agree.
No, we are not, my opinion is, we're not gonna dictate who this person's gonna report to. Leave it out.
Okay,
But it has, like, if I'm applying for this job, I'd like to know who my boss is.
Hold on.
I've got an idea.
Hold on. If the town wishes to move forward with funding the position, they're gonna dictate who that person reports to. All I'm saying is, we're not gonna call that out.
But it is
It's
a
not-
job description.
No.
Hold on, let me
Okay.
say what I think we should do. The manager would work under the direction
I would say town
of the
council.
department or individual assigned, identified by the town council.
Why do you have to say that at all?
Because if it's a job description and I'm applying for a job, which I'm not applying for this job, but I'd wanna know.
Okay, no, but they know that. Okay, that, it's
I'm
like,
happy with what everybody wants to go with.
I just, I don't think it's,
Put it this way, we're
purview.
gonna give them this, but if they're gonna mark it all up, whatever they wanna do.
Yeah, whatever they want.
Right.
I think that I don't think it's a bad thing to let the person know, hey, listen, you're gonna take direction of the town council. So they know who their quote unquote boss is, who they'll have to report to.
Or whoever is identified by the town
I-
council.
Yeah,
I find that the fact that you want to address that to be irrelevant. If they apply for the position, they get paid by the town, and when they show up, they're gonna be introduced to their new boss, because every town has a different reporting structure, and I don't find it to be relevant, and actually, depending on
Okay.
who the person is, they may say, I'm not gonna work under community development. That my past experience has been that it doesn't work well in that domain. All I'm saying is, I think it's potentially inviting something that, just like.
wouldn't you want to know that though beforehand?
So
Wouldn't you
think-
wanna know if,
No.
wait a minute.
No, I would ask that at the interview. I would ask that if I would apply for the job, and if I was accepted for the interview, during the interview process, at the end of the interview, they always say, do you have any questions?
Okay.
Then, at that
All right,
time,
I
I think
understand.
it's appropriate
Again,
to say.
we're gonna have a difference in
Yeah,
opinion. I think it
exactly.
should be in, you don't,
So I've
whatever
got,
you guys wanna do.
I've got a change of a thing. So taking what you said, Missy, and what Kevin said, the manager would work under the direction and the reporting structure, I like that is identified by the town council.
That is confusing me.
Yeah,
Oh, is it? Okay.
Whatever. I just think,
Kevin, what do you think should be, I like the reporting structure part.
you could put, if you wanna put something, the manager would work under the direction of the assigned reporting structure.
Okay. Everybody okay with that?
I want to be determined.
That doesn't sound good. If you can't tell me what I'm reporting to, then I'm out.
But there again, that's
Yeah,
the interview
All right,
process is the
That was a
time.
joke.
job environment, I must admit, I didn't think it was necessary, but every single job description from all the other towns had this.
No. This is an overview, okay? Your
Fair enough.
administrative work is performed in a quiet to moderately noisy office. How do you know that?
They had it in each, I figured it was something their legal department put
Okay,
in.
but there again.
It's an overview, I
this-
get it.
If you call it an overview, you don't have to have that in.
Well, do we want to, the way things are now, do we want to put something in about a office structure, hybrid, anything like that?
Let's
Do we-
let that out. If we're
You
gonna
know-
take that out, we might as well
Yeah,
take the
by the
other.
time they put the position in play, maybe people are no longer gonna be allowed to work
Exactly.
remotely. Yeah, stay away from that.
Okay, I do think that.
So we're gonna take out all of job environment.
Yes. The work requires intellectual abilities and variety of physical, we might want to take that out, but the employee must be able to drive to visit clients and other human service agencies.
No, I would
No,
take both those paragraphs out.
Okay, I'm not married to it, I just tried to Barnstable-ize it, that's, okay, essential functions, duties include but not
See what we
limited
can
to.
pare down here.
Provide information, referral connection, connecting residents who need services, I like that one. Psychotherapeutic consultation requiring considerable judgment and ability, well, I take out considerable judgment and.
Oh, wait,
I
what
don't-
is it? Go ahead.
I don't like this,
I don't
this
like it at all.
requirement, because what you're basically doing is you're saying this has to be somebody who has
Let's take it out.
clinical background,
Let's
and
take it
maybe that's not what we're looking
That's fine.
for.
But when you included that implies that they're going to have patients?
Yes,
Well, no, not necessarily.
that they have clinical background,
That
which
they-
I don't think
Yeah.
is required.
I'm fine with that, as I said, it was in all the others, so I thought, they're all doing it. Advocate for those individuals who in need of clinical referrals, housing, financial, clinical referrals, housing, I think that's fair enough. Number 3, collaborates with other community groups, service providers, maximize resources, and develops, I think 4 is okay, everybody okay with that?
I don't like 4 because, again, minimizing costs of outside community groups, we have no control of them.
That's fine.
What do you
Can
think,
I
Vince?
take,
I'm sorry.
Number 4?
Okay, collaborates with other community groups, serves to maximize resources. Yeah.
That's not our job.
That's not,
Connect individuals and families to needed resources.
Do we have that in 1 already?
some of these are
Provides-
kind of redundant.
Provides information, referral, connected residents who need services, I think that's the same thing as 5.
Okay.
Get rid of 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, you just said number 5 is the same thing as 5.
5 is the same thing as 1.
Yes.
Oh,
One
right,
says-
gotcha, okay,
yeah.
gotcha, okay. Help individuals and families to access services and navigate the application process for fuel assistance and other benefit. I think that's a valuable one.
kind of like everything else?
But you know what? I see this as, you got one person, okay? And how many things do you want them to do? With reference to the fuel assistance thing, I happened to call National Grid the other day myself, and they talked about fuel assistance. So if you put something like this,
Yeah, I wouldn't-
I mean, is that implying that, okay, we're gonna call Mary Lou the human, and she's
Yeah,
gonna.
no. Yeah, they might call the human services manager and say, I need fuel assistance. Okay, here's who you want to call. But we're not,
Okay,
Yeah.
fair
I would
enough.
take out 6
All
completely.
right,
Yeah,
develop and sustain positive relationships with community agencies, service providers, community groups by attending meetings, serving on committees, and holding positions that allow advocacy for.
I like everything except the attending meetings and all that stuff.
Okay, by,
Develop and sustain positive relationships with county agencies, service providers, and community groups. We don't to have this person tell them they have to attend all the meetings of those groups.
okay, fair enough.
I mean, we-
No, well, that-
Anything,
yeah.
what about the rest of that, you wanna?
develop and sustain positive relationships with county agencies, service providers, and community groups, period.
Boom, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna make them.
Periodic contact
Yeah,
with
they're
state
gonna-
agencies
fine.
and local nonprofits attending meetings to
No,
Now,
that's up to them.
you want, unless you want to do periodic content with state
Yeah, that's fine.
agencies about available
Work with
progress
rep-
funds, I mean, I don't,
Work with
But you know
residents,
what it
financial
is?
difficulty.
If they,
I don't care.
if a state agency says, Kevin, you know what, you have a mandatory meeting, you're going. If they don't, you
Right.
don't go. So I would,
A
yeah.
lot of these come under number one.
Yep,
So-
yep,
And 9 is the same. What do you think?
Yeah.
Kevin?
that's, I
Getting rid of
agree.
8 and 9.
Access.
Yeah, 8 and 9 gone.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what the hell
Department
this is about. Access to department-related confidential
Let's get rid of
equipment.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Design,
would go
implement,
there.
and oversee programs.
Saying.
Like Doja's coming in.
Yeah. Design.
I do like 11, design and implement and oversee programs, because they'll probably have new programs.
I think that's fine.
That's fine.
Execute program implementation, spend time on administrative tasks, I think that's an obvious.
Yeah, but I don't.
I don't think 12 is necessary.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
thank you,
saying.
Kevin.
Analyze data and suggest and implement programs and services to meet the greater
Data
needs.
makes you feel like you're getting people's information. I wouldn't, that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, you know what? You would expect somebody that has a manager title that they come to the job with, I don't know, 6 years of
Basic,
experience.
yeah.
That
They know they can go to they can get a count on how many homeless are on the streets and stuff.
Yeah.
manage community outreach efforts to advocate for increased awareness of programs. I think we're probably okay on number 1 with that.
Yeah, but.
Community organizing, forming alliances with the county and town to, I think that's an obvious one.
Now, and get rid of 16.
Yeah, I don't like
I haven't
15
read
either.
16 yet. We don't manage budgets for donation accounts. Remember we said that the grants was in this part?
And 15?
No, I thought it was-
16.
Oh, well, yeah, we just.
No, it's in 18.
Oh, right grants.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Was not gonna
Wait a
have,
minute.
there's not gonna be any budget, so I think 16 can go. What do you
I
think?
agree.
Yeah, I crossed it out already.
Again, 17 is kind of
Yeah, it's a
already
no.
done.
I would change 18 to say, knowledge of,
I was gonna say, keep up with current grant,
yeah,
availabilities?
knowledge of grant funding
opportunities, yeah,
opportunities.
you go.
And ability to, well, something along the lines of knowledge of grant application process and oversight of, received funding, just something like that.
That's good.
Hold on a minute. What was
Or
that last part?
you could put ability, knowledge of grant writing, application, and oversight of received funds.
Good.
Because that kind of,
Gets it all together.
Yeah.
I agree.
Short, sweet.
I'm just gonna put it next to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coordinate assessment notice
Okay,
of local
now.
organizations. I think we get rid of 19.
19, sorry. Again, I think that's something that we've talked about before.
Yeah. Maintain referral file and directory database of human service. I think this person would be in charge of that database.
I agree.
So we
Yep.
want to keep
And that
one.
person could assign us the task of trying to.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I agree. The webpage and the website for the opioid task force. I mean, I
Okay.
don't know much about that, so I mean, is that something that is a good thing to put?
let me ask you this. Is the opioid task force, which we don't have, right?
Well, we do, yes.
Okay, is that the only thing that has a web page? I don't know that
I don't
question.
think we actually have a webpage.
Well, I was gonna say, well, we have a human services committee or commission, whatever we are, webpage on the town boards. So maybe, yeah, if you go to town boards, you can go to HSC. Maybe that's what we're talking about the webpage, update the webpage.
Maybe it should just say maintain human services.
Webpage
File,
on the town
file.
website.
Yeah, period.
Yep,
Hold on.
Because then that should theoretically encompass.
Okay.
everything else that goes with it.
Yeah,
Prepare and process human service contracts and requisitions.
no, you don't have a department.
Well, if we have one. Okay, moving right along. And I'm fine with this, this is great.
Let me see.
Oversee and this is what I want, feedback, yeah. Oversee and modify as necessary recommendations regarding human services for the town.
They would, I assume, the manager would now take over stuff like the director's report and, or the chair's report and all that.
Yeah,
So
I don't think you need to call that out.
okay. Promote service programs in the community through meetings of local organizations through the media with town approval.
Promote service
I
programs.
think that's not
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, you want this person to be the face of the human services
Exactly.
department.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, I just am thinking of a better way to work.
Well, you know, I don't know, honestly, if this person doesn't realize that they need town approval, I would just put period after media.
But I think also it kind of protects the town because it means you have to have town approval.
It's 3 words, leave it in.
Yeah,
It doesn't, I mean,
in other words, they'll
I don't
set
think it's
the.
does any other department have to go in front of the town council to say, I want to go on the Channel 13 thing?
You're not allowed to represent on, like, so for instance, because I checked with regard to a HHDC incident, and I was told, because the media wanted to talk with me, I was told, no, that has to
No,
go
not
through the
media,
town.
the town of Barnstable, the town videos and the live shows they do all the time. So if that
That's
person,
always with
if we
permission
want to
anyway.
get them on to be able to be the face of the human services manager on the Barnstable website and the Barnstable stuff, I mean, I don't think they would have to ask for permission. I think the Barnstable 13 would say,
But
hey,
they
would you
wouldn't
like
be
to do it?
asked to do it if it wasn't acceptable for them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they would let a manager go on and tell us about your department and the stuff you
But there's
do.
also other media, radio stations and things like that, TV
Or we
stations.
can never let them go on the radio station.
Especially mine.
Except radio station.
I would leave in with town approval.
I don't care, that's fine.
Okay, prepare and manage annual departmental
No.
budget, no?
They're
There's not gonna be a budget.
they don't have a
Oh, that's right,
department.
okay. Plan and manage community outreach efforts to advocate for increased awareness of programs and make recommendations to you.
No final vote.
Okay,
Again, this
yeah,
person's gonna be in charge.
Yeah, okay, so we don't, okay, there will be, that's Mashpee, that had that.
So that's
There will be a
25.
budget for small.
Strike,
There's
strike
no budget.
25?
Strike 25. So
What,
now we
strike-
have
oh, wait,
1,
wait, wait,
2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's great.
But you know what? Otherwise, you gotta, don your superwoman cape.
Okay.
And
This
it's
is good.
intimidating
There
to
will be
see
a budget,
25.
okay, so we're not gonna have a budget. That was Mashpee.
Is this a Board of Health? Oh. This will be up to
Now,
the,
this is how Mashpee does it. They have the Human Services Committee and then they have this other portal.
my opinion is, this will be up to, I think this is up to the Human Services Manager, but I do think it would behoove him or her to add some pieces to this board we don't have, like
I
the
agree.
police department, fire department. But that's not our decision, that would be his or hers.
But to your point, in this article, they actually talk about, they formed I think they call it the opioid task force, but they called out the various entities.
Yes.
that in police, town, like Betty.
Yep.
People that were actually in the program and things like that, but I think the point that you make is a good one where that's up to the manager
Yeah.
how to
And that,
choreograph.
and I'm assuming the
that.
manager will come to these meetings, and that's something we could always suggest to him or her,
Yeah.
hey, listen.
Okay, let's get rid of that
Because
paragraph.
who knows more about dealing with addiction than the police department?
But
Well,
I-
actually, they're on police and fire, schools, mental health.
Yep.
And all that are on the opioid task.
See, I think I think it would be advantageous for the manager to combine like the Human Services Committee and the opioid thing, but
I agree.
I mean, we gotta put egos aside, okay, right? But I think that would be a goal because that's really where it should be.
I agree with you. My concern is, will the town council say, no, that's got all this funding in there, we don't necessarily want to combine it. But I think you're right. I think human services should include opioid.
But
I don't know.
But there again, if the manager is driving the bus as to how the funding
Yes.
is in their position is funded with those funds,
Mm-hmm.
you're hiring someone to do that very job.
Right.
And to say, okay, 3 people from the current Human Services Committee, they should be on the committee, and then you have, if you have a committee of 12, I really don't care.
Who
But I
cares?
mean, someone from the police department,
Yes.
but in the, so it's all truly like a collaborative kind of a.
I agree 100%.
And it really, what does that do? It gets rid of they want to trim down or decrease the number of committees. Isn't that really a win-win?
Yeah, get both together, yeah, I agree. Again, the whole thing is, we've got this X amount of dollars in this pot, and we want to make sure it's spent on what it's supposed to be spent. And if you take it away from me, then I can't grab it maybe to put a little bit over here. That's what I don't know, and I'm not being accusatory, I'm saying
Yeah.
that might be a reason.
But remember, we're only making advising,
Yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
tweak it themselves.
Yep.
The way they want it. Minimum of a bachelor's degree. I've gotten rid of that paragraph. That
Yeah,
ends
get rid of
in
that whole
schools.
thing, yeah.
Okay. Minimum of bachelor's degree in human service related field, preferably minority development, administration, and or municipal experience.
I dropped the PhD. Masters, if you want to say master's preferred,
PhD was talking big money.
Okay, master's preferred. Good team player, history of that.
well, if you're requiring, 5 years, why do you have to, work experience is needed in
Yeah, you
demonstrating.
don't need that.
Yeah, that's
Whoa,
kind of,
whoa, whoa, what do we take now?
the second
3
after.
3-year management
No,
experience.
No.
after the PhD preferred,
Oh.
work experience is needed and demonstrate an ability to lead others. You're requiring 5 years of experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why do you?
In development or administration,
Yeah.
so, yeah, you're good.
Okay, at least 3 years management experience preferred with residents and staff management.
Okay,
Massachusetts Class D motor vehicle operators license.
You have to put that? I mean, I don't
All
know,
of them had it.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
you know what I think that is,
Can you drive?
no, I don't think it's that.
Do you have
I think that-
transportation?
No, I don't think it's that either. I think that that's one of the mechanisms
Oh, Corey.
that validates that you're a Massachusetts resident.
Oh, okay,
Good
It's
point.
more of a
be right.
residency thing.
gotcha. Okay,
Thorough knowledge of the resources available to assist the citizens of Barnstable with human service needs and procedures necessary to provide such assistance. Thorough knowledge of the principles and practices of counseling, I don't know if we really need that, and social assistance. I think we can, knowledge of state, I think get rid of that sentence.
I would
I'm
get
gonna
rid
get rid of the
of
paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything we're asking for a minimal qualification, and the qualifications up on top, the essential functions, I think kind of takes all that into
Yeah,
account.
if you don't have this kind of knowledge, you're dumb. If
Yeah.
you have 5 years of experience,
Yeah, you're
I
not
would
gonna,
strike that.
yeah, I
But
agree.
it has here knowledge of grants related to human service programs, thorough knowledge of open meeting law.
We have that here in the grants.
Do we have open meeting law?
We don't, but that's something they'll take, and that, like we all have to do, take that wonderful test
Ethics
and
thing.
teach us how to do it.
Okay, well, that's conflict of interest law.
But you're
Yeah, open
also,
meetings, that's
you're
it.
also making the assumption that you're kind of telling them, oh, you're gonna be chairing meetings. Because if they choose not to, and they do it through some other mechanism, open meeting law is irrelevant.
Yeah, and plus, in my head, and who know how it goes, up to him or her, but they would be sitting in on our meeting. She's the chair of this meeting, and they're sitting in, that kind of thing. So I agree.
Okay, do you want to take out the whole thing on ability, or are you good? I think I'm not worried about it. Again, it was something I took out one of the others.
If it's an overview, I would strike it.
Okay,
Tact and discretion, please. Who's gonna have that?
Yeah. We don't want to hire them.
We don't want that. Yeah, I'm good on, I would take out ability and the skill.
Yeah.
okay, specific skills.
I think it's all, the rest of the stuff, don't you?
Well,
I'm sorry, what?
all in accordance
All these
with the
specific
town's policy-
skills?
all in accordance with the town policies and procedures.
Well, there again, if this is an overview, your human resources department is going to
So
do
what are we,
the real
what are we ending on?
description, if you will, and
Okay,
whatever.
we're good.
We're ending on the minimal qualifications of mass
And
classification.
actually, we're stopping with the license. Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
one thing we haven't done and we do need to do
Next.
is when we continued the minutes, the minutes, we need to identify a date, so the next meeting will be October 14th. And the minutes need to reflect that will be October 14th.
And do we need to vote on, the rest of us need to vote?
We already voted, everybody, yeah.
Oh, did we?
We did
Okay.
because Patrick and I said, is that for you?
I already
Janet,
voted.
Is that-
everybody, yeah.
Is that good enough, or do you need an official, as clerk, do you need official roll call vote? Where you say the person's name and they say yes or no? I'm
Oh,
just
as
asking.
far as the
Everybody had already
continuing?
Yes.
responded, but if you want to do roll call vote, we
I
can.
don't know if that's necessary. I'm fine with everybody saying, yes, we'll
Well, I
continue.
don't- Well-
We can say yes and
Well, what I
time we're arguing
what I
about it.
put in the June minutes with reference to like the election, that all committee members present agreed
Okay, that's good enough.
to, have the,
Continue.
continue the, election of officers to the blah, blah, blah meeting.
We can do
Excellent.
that. That's
Good
fine.
enough?
Yeah,
I'm
good.
good. All right, so now
I just
we're,
wanted to make sure we identified the date.
public comment? Okay.
I think you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
That was the public comment.
You say that as a private citizen?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so, thank you. Where are we on the agenda? I'm glad we got those two done because we
Had to be done.
really were out of time that needed to be done.
The other items, obviously, we'll pick back up, the next meeting. Because, again, Wendy does have some legitimate concerns and questions, we should address them. It's just, I think, I agree with the chair that this had to get done and out of the way.
This was
So,
hanging over.
and I think we made some really, really good improvements to this by
I
sitting
think
together.
we really did too.
Well, I don't, not that I would have the time to revisit all this kind of stuff, but, in the proposal, I don't know if you want to add some language that says after committee discussion, a potential option is to consider merging the opioid and human services committee. I don't know that anybody wants to go there, but we discussed it and it's real.
Repeat that again?
Again, I'm with you 1,000, and I think it should be done. I'm afraid that might not feel good to the council. That's my guess, is they'd be like,
But we're submitting the proposal.
yeah, no, I agree.
Can you repeat what you just said? Yes.
That I just as a.
In discussions.
In discussion, the committee did, consider, putting forth, or did consider the potential to, in the benefit of merging the opioid and human services committees.
Benefit, that's good.
One statement.
One line, yep.
One line.
And
Okay.
where would you put that?
The advisory proposal.
Yeah.
Near the end.
I have to go back and find that part.
Oh.
Two final thoughts. I would, well, we struck that paragraph.
Then just
but
a final thought.
Final thought.
So that's what it would be.
Hold on. Oh, we're going back to the other one.
Yeah, after we advise that the meetings continue to find a consistent place in the recording schedule of all town boards and meetings or
I need to
committees.
find it.
One, it's the second to the last page.
Second to the last page, I got it. No, we took out the two final thoughts.
No, but
No,
it's,
but-
we're substituting the two
One final
final thoughts. One final thought is that the committee did discuss the benefit of merging, word it however you want, but I think that,
Opioid and Human Services Committee.
yes.
Correct.
But we also had mentioned in this about also to cover veterans and.
No, we just want a one-line thing,
Yeah.
okay? Because what ultimately, the human services manager should, and I'd have to go back and look at the job description again, and I think you actually alluded to it, that they would have oversight of however you worded it, but basically of all of the other committees that I
Committees, yep.
say that have no reporting structure and are bobbing around like little ships in Lewis Bay.
That's right.
So, but
Great.
I think
That's
that's, you should put it out there.
And again, yeah, look, one final line and it'll be
That's it.
interpreted as it is.
Okay,
In fact, we have right here, we also propose placing any current committees that are under a human services umbrella, under the human services manager, allowing one responsible individual to oversee all funding that comes through the human services realm to ensure that they are allocated properly to the programs that they are intended for. Should that line go there?
No, I would
We're still
leave
at
it
the
as,
end.
I would leave it as
Okay.
concluding.
okay,
Good.
so,
But I think that, I agree with you that the manager should have oversight of all of, whether it's elder services or
Yeah.
whatever, because right now no one has any reporting.
Correct, yeah.
In its time.
Yeah, and again, legally, it's the best thing to do because now those funds can be appropriated to what they're supposed to be, and there'll be somebody who's in charge and who manages making sure those directors are done that way, so we don't get slapped on the wrist if something happens.
God, it's
Okay.
8:00, we gotta go, man.
oh, wait. So, opening public comment, closing public comment. We've already put the others over, so, in that case, I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Oh, actually, you will ask for that. Oh, yes, so you're in charge, so Chair's ready for adjournment, so would you like to go ahead?
Okay, I invite a motion.
I motion that we adjourn.
I second.
Okay, KN, SW, motion passes at 8:00 PM.